have primary control of critical vehicle functions. Roger roll, Discovery.
Hello, welcome to Cutting to the Bull in the Post-Truth Apocalypse. I'm Ben, as always I'm joined by Gaz.
Hello.
And Mike.
Hello.
And this is just to prove that we don't just post memes.
Yes.
We're actually a podcast, you can listen to us and everything. We're alright, we're pretty good. Bar technical issues.
Wherever, I mean, not knowing how to use a microphone, wherever you get your podcasts from, you can find us.
Yes, and on Instagram now. I can't know what it's called, you'll find it, doesn't matter. Apocalypse Bull, there you go. So let's have a look at who's listening to us this week. Cities we've got: New York, in obviously the United States; Jambai, Indonesia; a Swifter band to the Netherlands; Little Elm, Texas; Milwaukee, Wisconsin;
Kathmandu.
Kathmandu. Fucking
Is
hell!
that a real place?
I did not know that was a real place.
Nepal, yeah.
I just
Wow.
thought that was like
So-
a sort of
someone in Nepal-
semi-racist made-up name. My dad
Someone
used
in
to say.
Nepal, at the very top of the globe, is listening to us
Yeah.
three fuckers.
Wow.
That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, I bet he turned it off after 5 minutes though.
Get a life, you sad prick! What are you fucking doing? You're in Nepal!
Don't climb Everest!
Maybe he's listening to us climbing Everest.
I hope so.
Good luck, buddy.
Don't jump off!
Watch out for them corpses.
Yep.
They'll get
Oh
you.
yeah.
Belo Horizonte in Brazil, Leipzig, Germany, Bangalore, India, welcome back, you're always there. Bushy, United Kingdom, Bad Wildungen in Germany, Aridala in Greece, Istanbul, Turkey, Melfort, Canada, San Jose, Ashburn, Chicago, Columbus, Port Vale, America, all in there. Cloverley in Australia, Guadalajara in Spain, Benton, Arizona,
Arkansas.
I always get them two mixed up. Arkansas and Shady Nasty, New York. I can't say the name, it's like Shadactity, whatever. I'm going to call it Shady Nasty. You know who you are.
Thank you to everyone who listened this week.
And Flint, Michigan, where the fuck are you?
They're all poisoned. After I watched that movie, I know.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we watched new Michael Moore, didn't we? It's,
Fahrenheit 11/9.
that's it.
Excellent movie.
Very good, very good. So we're here to do weird news. This will take about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, see how it goes. And it's just some weird shit we found on the net, really, this week.
Yeah.
Let's get the boys' views on this week's weird news.
What's the first one, Mike? You know where I like to have like the hardest bastard of the year award I can find. And recently, started off with that bloke who fought off a cougar. Now the other week it was a bloke who fought off a bear.
Yeah.
This is my most cool dude of the year award.
Okay.
So the world's chillest man lights a cigarette at gunpoint during a St. Louis bar robbery. And this is kind of cool as it goes on. A local man with nerves of fucking steel and brass balls to match, who was apparently wholly unimpressed with the armed thief who robbed Behrman's Tavern late Tuesday night, refusing to hand over his cell phone and even casually lighting up a cigarette as the robber trained a gun at him. A security camera inside the bar captured the scene. The incident took place around 12:30 a.m. in the 3100 block of Memorex Street. Then a man in his late 30s to mid 40s wearing dark pants and blue shirt entered the bar with a heavily modified high-point carbine and demanded money. The video shows many of the customers as well as the bartender immediately hit the deck upon the gunman's arrival. Completely fucking understandable.
Totally reasonable response.
Yeah, absolutely. But one fearless man is unmoved by the threat of physical violence against his person, choosing instead to remain seated at his perch and casually look at his phone. When the robber approaches the man to take his phone from him at gunpoint, the man pulls the phone away and sets it down in the bar before reaching for his pack of cigarettes and pulling out a smoke. The robber then walks around the bar while the man protects his smokes and phone by covering them with his hand. Once the robber is behind the bar, he points his gun at the man again, with ice water running through his veins, The man simply lights up a cigarette in response. Apparently, just as impressed with the man's show of defiance as we are, the robber then turns his attention elsewhere and begins forcing customers to hand over their belongings before making the bartender open the till. Incredibly, the man waves the robber away when it's his turn to give up the goods, cigarette still in hand.
What a man.
When the robber leaves the bar, he does so with any of the smoking man's possessions. Now, there's a possibility that this man does have the biggest balls of steel of the year.
Or
he was in on it.
He was very drunk.
Very drunk.
Yeah.
Or he was in on it.
Hi?
He could have been in on
he
it.
could have been.
He could have been an accomplice on the inside.
Maybe.
And he's like, you're not even taking my shit for pretend, mate. I don't trust you.
Nah, I think he's the...
I think he's just got massive balls of steel.
I think this man...
Incredibly pissed. I'm going for.
He fell out of a 1970s crime movie and somehow became real. Right. Who's that one like action movie that your dad likes? That with Charles Bronson, is it? There's about 7 of them.
Death Wish.
Death Wish. That's it. You know what I mean? That sort of dude.
I like to think he's like a Vietnam vet, and he's just like, I could snap your neck, kid, if you wanted to.
The thing about it, he's probably thinking, he must have some training, so he might be thinking, right, the second you use your hand to actually grab my possessions, I'm having your gun.
Yeah.
Like, instantly. The second you take your eye off me and go for them, I'm having the gun.
That's it.
Confident that he knew he could,
Yeah.
so he didn't lose his shit, and then it went his way because the guy realised, like, oh, this guy's not playing.
I would agree with that. I'd argue he knows how to disarm someone through some kind of training, whether that be martial arts or military.
And a combination of that and Mike's suggestion, so like a combination of a highly trained dude who's been in way worse situations than this, knew he could handle it, and also had a few shots in him as he was in a bar. And he was probably thinking, just try it, kid.
Yeah.
Oh, I hope you try. Oh, he didn't try.
He didn't try, no. I was looking forward to snapping that man's arm and then sitting on him till the police arrived, or punching him now and again to keep him quiet. I was looking forward to that. Would have took me back to Guantanamo Bay. The good old days. What was that? Oh, what was that prison? Abu Ghraib.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's pretty good guard there.
Yeah.
I don't know. Either way, he's winning this year's massive balls of
I'd
steel
say so.
competition.
I wish he was my dad. I want this man in my life. Somehow.
You want him inside you? Or?
Don't mean, no. Why did it get gay all of a sudden?
What, you wanted him in your life?
Yeah, it doesn't mean in my asshole. You're in my life, bro.
Oh.
Like, do you know what I mean? I want this man to go with me to bars, for fuck's sake.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Gay
Take you
bars?
to the zoo.
Gay bars. The zoo, yeah. If somebody starts on me at the zoo, they're going to get their
That's
fucking
it.
neck snapped, don't they?
That's true. Well, anywhere, not just the zoo.
With one hand, while he's rolling a cigarette one-handed,
Oh, that's cool.
licks it up there, lights it, and whilst the other arm choking a man to death because he said he didn't like my t-shirt or something like that.
Yeah.
That's my fantasy.
Yeah, I like it.
What if he gets pissed off at you and just casually slaps your neck?
Yeah, well, he's
He's
turned up and
bored,
defending
yeah.
you all the time.
I'll treat him right.
And this is how we come back to the intercourse.
I could just pay him well. How does your boss pay you?
You haven't got the money to pay him.
How do you know? It'd be fine. I can pay him in IOUs.
A dude with balls this big, he's not going to take fucking IOUs forever.
Well, in my fantasy scenario,
Alright.
which you're not involved with creating because it's mine, this guy's just simply killing people for me. Nothing to do with my bum.
Fair enough. You're not a power bottom then.
No, just for anyone, if this is your first thing, I mean, you don't need a master's degree in psychology to work out what's just happened here. But I do have a girlfriend at home. She's lovely. I don't take it up the bum. But Ben's probably not gonna. That's probably not the last gay joke he's gonna make before the end of this news story.
No, I'm done.
Just so you know.
I'm done.
Okay.
It was getting old, I'm done.
Right, next
We move
one.
on.
Gay. Well, come on.
Go on, Mike, sorry.
I should have read the headline before I said that.
Bolt of lightning ignited fart gases in woman's septic tank and made her toilet explode.
Or did it? Or was it just a really violent shit? The mother of all shits.
Exploded the porcelain.
Mary Lou Ward was left terrified by the sudden blast at her home in Port Charlotte, Florida, on Sunday and says it was the loudest sound she's ever heard. She told Wink, "We have nothing now. We come in here and the toilet was laying on the floor. There's all pieces everywhere."
I think that's a
Pieces
bit harsh.
everywhere.
We have nothing now. Her house didn't explode. It was just her toilet. Yeah, we have nothing to go on would have been a better fucking...
No, we have no toilet.
We have no toilet. And when the police have said, "Oh, got nothing to go on."
Oh. No leads here.
There is a picture of the exploded
Toilet, and it's a bit of a mess.
It's pretty destroyed, but it's not that bad. It just looks like a giant sat on it.
Well, you can't sit on it anymore.
It's lost its functionality as a toilet.
They have to get that fucking pelican from the Flintstones in. There's a stopgap.
The entire plumbing system at Ward's home was ruined after the lightning hit a septic tank and ignited methane gas. Methane occurs in small quantities in human flatulence and waste and was able to build up to flammable levels when contained inside Ward's septic tank.
Well, maybe she just get it emptied more often.
Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah, so...
It would scare the shit out of you.
Oh, imagine if you were on it when it happened.
Oh god. Well, she'd be dead, wouldn't she?
Well, I guess so.
I don't know. It doesn't look that much like it. Like, if it really exploded, it just looks like it collapsed a bit.
Yeah, I mean, the bowl's completely shattered, the top's been blown off it, but I mean, the seat's still in place.
And the handle's still on it.
Hey, maybe it's still, I don't know. It looks like a bit, it looks a bit on the piss, doesn't it? It looks a bit tilted. I don't think it'll still work.
It's just pretty funny that the toilet exploded, isn't it? To be perfectly honest.
It's
When
always...
lightning hit it, I mean, how unlucky is that?
Yeah. What are the chances of being hit by lightning, and then what are the chances of that lightning bolt hitting your septic tank?
And igniting your shitty gases.
Oh my god, imagine
Months and months of
Yeah.
impact.
Imagine the smell around the local neighbourhood after that's burnt off.
Oh,
After the...
You know when you used to go to festivals and they'd always burn the portaloos and it used to fucking honk of just shit.
Well,
That's what her entire house smells like now. There's no getting away from that. Forever. I'd sell the house. Burn the house, in fact.
yeah. Oh well.
moving on.
Yeah.
Okay. Trump suggested dropping nuclear bombs into hurricanes to stop them from hitting the US.
Now, it should be pointed out that Trump has denied ever saying this, but a lot of people who are around him have said, no, he fucking said it.
It happened, didn't it?
It happened.
President Trump... try that again. President Trump has suggested multiple times to senior Homeland Security and National Security officials that they explore using nuclear bombs to stop hurricanes from hitting the United States, according to sources who have heard the president's private remarks and been briefed on a National Security Council memorandum recorded these comments. During one hurricane briefing at the White House, Trump said, I got it. Why don't we nuke them? According to one source who was there, they start forming off the coast of Africa and then moving across the Atlantic. We drop a bomb inside the eye of the hurricane and it disrupts it. Why can't we do that? The source added, paraphrasing the president's remarks.
Unbelievable, isn't it?
Wow.
Yeah. It's like, wow, that's...
But I thought you knew everything about nuclear weapons.
You know,
Nobody knows more than me.
He knows everything about everything.
Nobody. Nobody's seen more hurricanes than me. Oh well. Fuck it.
Yeah, that's his plan.
Well, thank fuck there is a team around him who's not.
Do you think every day it's
Complete
like,
yes, man.
Yeah.
I mean, imagine it.
Oh god, yes, mind dictator. This
Do
is
you
why
think
we can't have a
babysitting?
dictatorship.
do you think you literally feel like a babysitter?
Oh, I bet they feel more like they look.
Like,
Gotta be on
yeah,
it.
please don't say that in
Also,
public.
don't
Please
forget
don't say this
the
in
fact that
public.
isn't he 70 years old?
Yeah.
I genuinely think he's going senile.
I mean,
I genuinely do.
Wouldn't surprise
I mean,
me.
the whole "I'm the chosen one" thing. I mean, yeah, he's saying it as a joke, but at the same, it's you can take that as two ways. You can say he's saying that as a joke. Three ways. He's either saying it because he fucking believes it, and I fully believe in that man's ego, he might well believe it.
yeah.
And thirdly, he's appealing to that 35% of hard right-wing Christians who fucking think he is the second coming of Christ.
Yeah.
But isn't that blasphemous, surely?
Of course it is, but no, not to them, because he is the second coming, isn't he?
Did you like in the movie, the Michael Moore movie Fahrenheit 11/9, where it showed like the footage of them walking out on stage after they'd won? Like, and he was like, have you ever seen a party of people this depressed about winning? They didn't expect to fucking win that, I don't think, at all. Man, they walk out there, there's not a man.
There's no one celebrating,
fucking,
it's just...
They are literally like, oh, fuck.
Oh man, I said
what have we done?
Oh, what have we done?
I said all that shit and now I'm going to have to try and do some of it.
It's Donald fucking Trump. You can just see it on their faces. Oh, God. Yeah.
I see he thinks he should have an extra spell in office after 2020.
Does he?
Because of all the disruption he's had, the Mueller report and all the allegations of the Russian...
It's not fair.
It's not fair. It's taken up so much of his time. The fact that he's
you're
been
defending,
golfing...
like, accusations.
Bill Maher does say it best. He is a whiny little bitch.
He is a whiny little bitch.
He is, yeah.
But don't you find that most right-wing people are whiny little bitches, as well as the left-wing people?
Everyone is, basically.
That's why we stick in the middle.
Because you could say, because I spend a lot of time complaining to you two, don't I, off mic, sometimes on mic, about the outrage culture and everyone being so offended and cancel culture and all that. But then you could say, me moaning about that is being a moaning bitch, isn't it?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Do you know what I mean? It's I'm being offended by their offence. Right?
Yeah, you got a point.
It's a fucking...
I'm offended by you being offended by something so innocuous.
Yeah, that offends me. It's this fucking never-ending cycle. But everyone's so certain they're right. Where did I get this certainty from?
I know.
I was like that when I was about 17 to about 24 or 5, maybe, at a guess. But at age 36, I'm definitely...
All I know is that I know nothing.
Yeah, I seriously do not think that I got any fucking concrete answers on anything, really. Apart from things I've directly experienced, I could sit there and confidently give you some advice on. But where the fuck everyone on Twitter and everywhere is so adamant that they've got the answer that they've got on every fucking issue. There's not many people there going, well, I don't know.
Yeah.
Because
I just don't get involved. I can't be arsed. I'll be honest with you.
probably the absolute
answer
to it, be zen.
That's it.
Don't go on
stoic.
social media. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, fuck them all. World's coming. It clearly, come on. We've joked about it many times over the course of this show. There being a very apocalyptic feel.
Yeah,
A very end timesy kind of feel in the zeitgeist.
The revolutions all around the world, mate. They're happening. They're starting.
Let's face it, even Britain this week, as we've had mass protests across the country.
France has been on fire for like 8 months.
Yeah, but no one's bothered with talking about that, have they?
Do you know what I mean?
Very true.
I still go back.
A lot of people around the world are pissed, and they're right to be pissed.
Yeah. I still go back.
Jackass is like this in fucking charge.
I still go back and watch that clip of that French boxer guy punching the riot police shields. It's fucking awesome how he just flips over the rail and then just starts proper boxing the riot policemen. It's fucking awesome. Whenever I'm feeling down, I go back and watch that video and think, wow, yeah, he wasn't afraid there, was he? Gotta love that.
Fair play. Good on you, France. I don't know where it's getting you. You know my opinions on protests. I love that people do them. I respect you for doing them, but I'm so fucking cynical. I'm just like,
no, I agree. I don't think
It's the only thing that's worked,
because
mate.
thing is they haven't got to listen.
No, but it's
Because there's no election due, so it doesn't matter. And in 2 years' time,
consistent and persistent. It's the only thing that's worked, mate, in history. So you're only gonna go.
No, Mike. The only thing that's worked in history is full-on revolution.
Well, yeah, that stems from people protesting.
Well, let's get the guns together and fucking storm Buckingham Palace, or number 10, whatever. Fuck it.
well, we might have to when the food runs out.
Get the guillotine set up on Tower Hill. We'll have them all in. I'll fucking pull the switch.
Fucking buzzer. Alright then. I think, have we done is that the news?
Yeah, I'm done.
Speak?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Ben has just condemned and executed the whole entire elites. In one sentence.
Awesome. And doing that has achieved more than they have in all their years of government. It's a win-win.
Yeah, but then what if all the elites are gone and then someone like me ends up in office? Like an absolute
Well, you'll be,
fuck bucket who
you'll be
doesn't know
some
what he's
kind
doing?
of... I'll make you Minister for Arts or something like that. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I could probably handle that, yeah. I reckon.
Yeah.
Turn that shit off, it's the law.
He's already put himself in charge. I mean, look at
Of
him
course
to
I
get
am.
jobs now.
I'm the only
Yeah, well, I missed that bit. Why are you deciding what job I've got?
Because I'm the last sane man on the planet.
Oh, we are doomed.
It'll be a glorious utopia, trust me.
If you were a wrestler, you'd be Ben the Ego.
Look, I'm a sane individual.
None of us in this room are sane.
Reasonably sane individual. He was pretty central.
Everything's fucking relative though, Ben. Come on, there's people way more
I'm more sane than those psychopaths in charge. It could be worse. Think about it.
It could be worse than them, yeah.
Well, it could be worse than them, but I won't be worse than them.
Should we wrap this? It's a funny old day, isn't it? What's it? We're not in here.
Oh man, well,
I'm only joking. I'd vote for you over Buzzer.
there you go. I've got one vote. Mike?
Mike.
I ain't fucking voting for you.
Hey?
I ain't voting for you.
It's me or Boris?
He's a pacifist. He can't
I'm
vote
running
for
against you, motherfucker.
No, it's okay. Well,
Mike's leading the protest.
Well, in keeping with today's topic of the Clinton kill list, I'll just have your shot. It doesn't really matter.
That's it. They just joke about it in your
Yeah,
talks.
I just joke about it. Hey, remember?
They think I kill people.
Hey, remember Mike? Remember him? Look what happened to him, eh?
That's why I'm fighting against you, because you're a fucking psychopath.
Because
as bad as them.
you can give people all the liberty you want, but you still have to have that iron fist in reserve.
Alright.
Iron Fist.
But not that shitty Netflix show, that was terrible.
I tried so hard to like it.
Yeah, I watched the first season, this is terrible. But I did like Defenders.
It was better than. To be honest, I didn't finish Defenders. You've just reminded me of that now. Is it still on Netflix? 'Cause
I
it's
think
not
so,
gonna be
yeah.
forever. I think when the Disney deal happened and the Disney Channel, their online service happens, they're starting a subscription service basically.
Yeah.
You'll not see a single Disney movie on any other platform. Then you'll have to get the Disney. But
Which is
I'm
shit,
going to end up signing up for it
Yeah,
now because of
me
all the
too,
original
yeah.
stuff that
Yeah.
you've seen the trailer for that Mandalorian.
Yeah.
That's good.
We're tangenting now, but that looks great. There's a lot of other things.
And then
Apparently,
the Marvel universe is going to have spin-off
TV
shows and, you know, it's...
with the cinematic people, like
So it's Tom
unmissable,
Hiddleston's playing
really.
Loki.
yeah, so you get £10 a month,
Yeah,
whatever it's
alright.
going to be.
But I will say the Netflix Marvel stuff, and I'm going to make Punisher, Daredevil, Defenders, top 3,
Yeah, I would agree.
were all gritty and dark as fuck and as far removed from the Marvel Cinematic Universe, I think, in terms of just how it was and the fact that Frank Castle has no problems with just blowing someone's brains out at point blank range. You wouldn't see that on screen in the cinema.
No. But, Captain America does kill people though.
Well, yeah, but not sort of punching them to death. I mean, he might kick them off a building.
Yeah, he does chuck people over balconies and stuff like that, doesn't he? And like downstairs and things. But anyway,
Do you think at the end of Endgame, when all them portals open, spoilers, like you had like the Defenders, like you had the Punisher and all the Daredevil. They were just like, any minute now.
If that happened and the TV universe appeared in that scene, a lot of people would have suffered like spontaneous human combustion.
I would have.
In that
I'd be
moment,
like, Punisher's there! Yeah!
Just
I would
left
have.
comatose, like someone who does too much drugs and it fucks with them, they never recover from it.
Well, I was sat in them reclining chairs at the Odeon. If you haven't been to the new, go. Right?
Yeah, oh,
It's
yeah.
fucking awesome. You just got this reclining chair to yourself with a tray that swings out. And yeah, if I'd have seen the Punisher rock up in that battle, I'd have probably ejaculated myself into a state of comatoseness.
Same here.
So yes, today we're going to talk about the Clinton body count, or the Clinton kill count, or the Clinton hit list. Basically the theory that the Clinton body count refers to a theory, parts of which may have been advanced by Newsmax publisher Christopher Ruddy, and amongst others Donald Trump, Alex Jones, QAnon. The Clintons have got quite a high body count of people they don't like, or fell out with, or disagreed with, or may go to the press and tell them what they're up to.
Well,
Estimates range between 30 and 70 dead people.
I got a number of 90.
90.
But that bit isn't a conspiracy, though, is it? Loads of people connected to them in some way have died in plane crashes and murders.
Well, if we look at the sceptical side of things, some of these people on this list are still alive.
Okay.
You know, some can be explained. I think there's 2 or 3 that are a bit iffy if we look at it through a sceptical... Well, also remember, you're coming at it from opposing view, so they're going to try and debunk it. Supporters of the Clintons will always try and debunk it.
But what I'm trying to say is that trying to connect them all and say it's related to Hillary and Bill, that bit's the conspiracy. The fact that a fuckload of people who either worked for them, worked for their organisation, were connected to them politically somehow,
Or harassed.
have fucking died in plane crashes and suicides and all sorts, which we'll get into later. So what I'm trying to say is that bit isn't a conspiracy. Linking them all together and saying it's their fault and they ordered it all.
Yes.
That bit's a conspiracy. So you could say, don't be mates with the Clintons. It's quite unlucky.
Yes, Jeffrey.
Jeffrey who? Oh, Mr. Epstein. We watched a documentary about the Von Erich family today, the wrestlers. 5 or 6 brothers and 5 of them died. Either through suicide or shit circumstances. And I was saying to Leona, like, well, there's a fucking... Well, I'm not a religious person or whatever, but some weird fucking jinx on that family.
Well,
Is there some weird fucking jinx on the Clintons?
Well,
or if you work for them, you die?
The Kennedys as well, as the famous Kennedy curse.
Was it?
Yeah, because I mean, if you think that JFK was obviously assassinated, his brother was assassinated, his son died in a plane crash. There's apparently this curse on the Kennedy families.
Is it, when you say curse, do you mean CIA?
Well, I could be saying CIA. I could be saying Italian mob.
It could
I
be
could
some
be saying
weird
communism.
It
I
could
could
be
be saying
some.
anything.
It could be some weird metaphysical fucking like hex that set upon this family. Or it could be that the CIA killed them all because they're the Kennedys.
Yeah, they're just too powerful for their own damn good. But anyway, that works in the reverse with the Clintons, and they kill people because they think they're going to dick them over in some possible way. Now, this was brought to attention by a documentary, a pseudo-documentary nonetheless, called The Clinton Chronicles, which specifically accuses Bill Clinton of multiple crimes, including murder, but the main ones are, number 1...
Why is it, hang on, sorry, why is it a pseudo documentary?
Because there's no proof, it's hearsay. They presented this as fact,
Right.
but really the evidence is a little bit tenuous.
Okay, but it's it is still a documentary though.
It's a documentary.
It might be a false one.
Yeah, but in the same way that Spinal
Shit,
Tap is a pseudo-documentary.
No, that's a work of fiction.
It's a mockumentary.
A mockumentary.
I just thought I've never heard that term before. I guess it's just saying it was all based on hearsay.
It's like Ancient Aliens is a pseudo-documentary, when you watch that on the History Channel.
No, I guess I'm just getting
Pseudoscience.
I'm talking about semantics, I guess. Calling it, whether or not the content of the documentary is factual or not, it's still a fucking documentary.
Yeah.
It's not, like, do you know what I mean? I was just confused by that term. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah,
No,
yeah, okay,
anyway,
yeah.
moving on.
So anyway, these crimes include, after murder, being a drug addict, possibly.
Killed someone because they were a drug addict.
No. His
Bill
crimes
Clinton's
are Bill Clinton is a drug addict. Yeah.
Okay.
Um,
Drug specifically is he
just
addicted
drug addict.
I wouldn't say addict.
Could be painkillers. Could be
Big
cocaine.
time user of man.
Opiates.
Yeah,
probably.
it's gotta be.
Listen, I gotta tell you, as somebody who has used and abused cocaine, my experience is it's like a few handful types of people that do cocaine. There's like the sort of lower level like party people. Do you know what I mean? Like the people I was mixing with, nobody's rich or famous or anything. And then it's fucking uber prevalent in people with money, high-powered jobs, long jobs, hard jobs, just to fucking keep you going and keep you feeling fucking good all the time. And it's a self-perpetuating thing because you feel good doing it. It's expensive to get. You know what I mean? Like, I just think the idea of any fucking governor, anybody like that, like people like, of course, they try and scoff it. Of course he wasn't doing cocaine. He went. I think you're fucking naive to think he wasn't.
Yeah. I doubt that anyone in the halls of power in the Western world isn't doing cocaine.
It's madness. I think.
Especially the guys like the press attachés and the staff who are on the go 24/7.
We can't prove that he ordered the deaths of anyone, but this is the first accusation on the list there. And for this one, we do know some factual things. We know that massive amounts of cocaine were being allowed to be brought into the US.
Oh well, I was gonna. Yeah, that's down on the list as well. Yeah, but we'll cut. Yeah. Go on.
Right.
Sorry, go on.
And it was coming in through the state of Arkansas who was the governor of Arkansas?
Mr.
Bill
Clinton.
Clinton.
Yeah.
There's some federal guy I read earlier quoted as saying, not a conspiracy, a federal guy saying I could prove that drug trafficking has tentacles which reach all the way to the top in this state.
Yeah.
It's a dirty state. The idea that he had no fucking clue that was going, he wasn't clued into it by people higher than him, to be able to turn a blind eye to it. Of course he knew about it, and one of the benefits of that was probably getting some really fucking good cocaine.
Yeah. Well, the thing is, if the CIA are flying in drugs from Nicaragua, and it's pure cocaine, which they're then gonna, because it'll come over pure, wouldn't it?
Mm.
It'll come over 100%, and then it'll be chopped up and filtered down, cooked up, whatever. Now, all Bill's got to do is sit over the airport, take his key for keeping quiet, 100% pure Colombian or Nicaraguan goodness.
Take a little briefcase.
He'd have
Little
been
briefcase.
a fairly youngish man at that time, wouldn't he? You know what I mean? And he's
He wasn't that old a president, was he?
No, he was quite young, wasn't he?
So,
Yeah.
I think because he was
40s,
always
wasn't he?
grey-haired. Is he
Yeah.
one of them people who went grey quite young?
Yeah, 'cause
It's
I
like
saw-
Steve Martin, he's always...
Yeah, I was looking at pictures today of on.
Oh, he looks old now. He looks haggard.
Well, that's what
That's the
haggard-
guilt.
Yeah, maybe.
Well,
All the drugs.
Well, no, Epstein's gone. The adrenochrome fucking things dried up, hasn't it? They got to get a new supplier. So he's sort of aged now rapidly.
Is it on your list that the Clinton organisation is essentially just a crime family of really dodgy dealings and
No, actually.
money making? Yeah, the Clinton Foundation is
Oh, hang on. Yes, I know about the Clinton
has
Foundation.
an
Yeah.
incredibly bad rep,
Yeah.
which is possibly why they've had to allegedly off.
Weren't they accepting Saudi money and stuff for political favours?
Oh,
All
please!
kinds of
Everyone's
dodgy-
accepting. Everyone.
Well, yeah, I know.
Well,
You're not
Brandon-
meant to, are
The
you?
Bush family. I mean, when
But this is what
when George Bush Senior went to Saudi Arabia, they used to he was a friend. He wasn't just the president. They were.
Yeah. I think Israel's pumping money into Trump's bloody
Well,
charities, isn't he?
of course. So
Of which Trump then spends the money on portraits of himself at his golf clubs.
Or just golfing. Hasn't he golfed more than any US president so far?
Probably. Doesn't it cost millions of dollars each time that he goes out?
Yeah,
Yeah,
'cause
must you
the
think of
security.
the logistical nightmare of getting the president of US
Public
to a
money.
golf score?
And he's,
golf
he's,
club?
a, he's a so-called billionaire.
Yeah, why not fund it yourself? Right.
Well, yeah. Number two.
So drug. I
So
wouldn't
drug
say
addict.
addict, but I'll say
I'd
user.
say user. Yeah, I'll go with user. May have been an addict at some point though.
Maybe it got a bit on top of him. That happened to me. That's what happens with. You start off like, it's alright. It's only at parties. And then it's every weekend. And then you can't wait for the weekends. You're like, fuck it, I'll do it on a Thursday, it'll be alright, I can do work Friday. And then somebody, if you're lucky like me, somebody older with more experience goes, oi, you're on the cusp of putting a monkey on your back that will be on there for the rest of your life. Because once you're an addict, you'll be fighting it the rest. So fucking knock it on the head for a bit. Yes, thank you, I think I will.
Yeah.
And so I was fine.
I knew.
Maybe this
I-
happened to it. It just got more and more and more until somebody had to go, oi, dickhead, you're a governor.
Well, yeah. I mean, I knew a guy like that. I went to a stag do in Birmingham. We all it was like a stay overnight kind of thing.
Yeah.
You know, we go out on the lash till the early hours of the morning, then go and crash in the hotel and get back up again and carry on. And we were like, where's this guy? I won't say his name. He probably doesn't fucking listen anyway. He was a cunt. But he's a. Well, he
Still
was.
shouldn't say his name.
No, and he's
Don't know you just called him a cunt.
well, he was. He is, probably. I don't know. I haven't seen him in years. But he's like, but he was like, where is he? We went to his room the next morning. Maybe he got lucky. No. Groom checked his phone. Message. He'd read it when he was drunk and not replied. He's like, oh fuck. He's gone. We're in Birmingham. It's 3 a.m. Right? When we all sort of went back to the hotel. Message from 3:30. I've gone back to Telford. I need some cocaine.
That's perfectly reasonable behaviour.
3 a.m. Taxi back to Telford from Birmingham to buy some cocaine.
Yeah, because the man wanted to stay on it. He
He never came back. He didn't come back.
Yeah, he couldn't afford it.
That, in my opinion, is a problem.
Now, when it gets to a problem is what started happening with me as well is because
Thieving.
Because I'm a drinker. No, I never had to rob my nan.
Prostituting yourself.
I've always had a job. Like Bill Hicks said, did a lot of drugs, never lost one fucking job. Had a time of my life. But anyway, it gets to the point where, because you drink with it, where the prospect of going to a party and you haven't got any class A's, and you're like, fuck, because basically with coke, alcohol or speed, alcohol does not hit you. Like, you can go from your usual 8 cans to, I'm not exaggerating, you can do like 20 cans over an extended period and not even feel pissed though.
No, I can't do that.
To be completely still, just compass mentis, not falling about, nothing, because the speed is that much stronger. You know, than the alcohol.
I've noticed that. I've done speed and beer.
Yeah, you can just drink and drink and drink. The same with coke. Where was I going with
Never
that?
done
Oh yeah.
coke.
So the prospect then, sometimes you realise you got a problem. Then you're invited to a party, but you can't get hold of anything, and you're like, I can't do it. I can't drink without it. Like 4 cans, I'll be fucked. Like, nah, I'm not gonna go to the party. And then you know what I mean? And you're like, oh fuck, this is not normal behaviour. So anyway, I sympathise with you, Bill.
In at number 2. Having affairs and sexually harassing several women. Well, we can probably agree with that one,
Yeah,
can't
that's quite blatant, isn't it?
we? Yeah.
Yeah. I'd say so.
Yeah.
I did not have sex with that woman, Miss
Yes,
Lewinsky.
but you did.
You did put a fucking cigarette in a
Cigar
in a pussy.
And then smoke it.
All over her dress.
Which, let's face it, it's pretty cool,
It's
isn't
pretty
it?
rock and roll in the fucking
Fucking
on the
it
oval.
with a cigar and then smoking it after.
But
that's pretty fucking
No,
cool.
that would be rock and roll on its own, but when you're doing it on the desk in the
Oh,
Oval
yeah.
Office,
Yeah.
there's a whole other level
Just
of
lock
gangster.
the door, say to the Secret Service guy outside, just give me 10 minutes.
But you know they'll be
Lock the
watching on
door.
the cameras anyway, you
Oh,
don't give
yeah.
a fuck. Yeah. Oh well. I mean, no,
And
don't
there
want them.
there was a thing called Troopergate.
Troopergate, okay.
We're using Arkansas State Police to facilitate sexual liaisons and intimidate accusers.
Wow.
So they're using Bill's head of
Influence.
the state.
Yeah.
The police are technically under his jurisdiction. She's like, you know, that woman's. I fucked this woman the other week, and she's going to come out in the public and say it. So I want you to go around her house and intimidate her.
I think you'd be naive to think that
Yeah.
someone in that power doesn't do things
Or
like that.
find
blatant.
me some hoes to fuck and then shut them up.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. I agree fully with that one in all fairness.
I'm not saying all fucking senators and men in power are like that.
No, Bernie
a
Sanders
big-
isn't, is he?
Who?
Bernie Sanders.
Oh,
is-
Bernie, no. Bernie's never
No.
fucking slapped a hoe
No.
around in a hotel
No.
room.
He's never done coke, I
coked
don't
up.
think.
No.
He might have done coke when he was a student.
I reckon he smoked pot.
But smoke pot, definitely.
Joe Rogan asked him about it. I can't remember what he said.
He said he didn't do anything for him.
I think he said, yeah, he did. Everyone did. It was the 60s, hasn't he?
something
Yeah.
like that.
He said, he goes, I didn't really enjoy it. It wasn't for me, so I just didn't do it anymore.
Fucking fair enough.
Yeah.
But I heard a good little thing about the Clintons, or not a good thing, but like they've got a sort of policy, the pair of them, of like when you're accused of something, you you lie and you stick to the lie, just absolutely fucking adamantly, and that's the game plan. I did not have sex with that woman. Clinton, Hillary with the emails and all that. It's like that's their
I
philosophy.
think
Of
that's
just
what
like
everybody in power does.
I guess but they're absolutely dogmatic at it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, he still denies it. He still denies the Lewinsky affair.
Of course, he can't go back on it, can he?
Well, he can't, no. You think it wouldn't matter now? You know, he's,
But
fucking,
no.
he's in his 70s. What the fuck's it matter? Yeah, all right, I did. Fuck it.
I
Ain't gonna
didn't
be president
inhale.
again, am I?
Remember that one? I didn't inhale.
No.
I puffed on it, but I didn't inhale. Like it fucking matters. Like that makes you less of a.
They all say that though, don't they?
I didn't
Yeah.
inhale.
You ever try
Well, it was a let-off, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
you ever try marijuana? Yeah, I tried it, but I didn't inhale. You know, oh, fuck off, dude.
Yeah.
If I, why don't you say, yeah, I did. I love it.
Well,
I still do it
they're
now.
lying, yeah,
I
they're
still do it
lying,
now.
obviously.
Fucking love
It's
it.
because of the puritanical nature
Yeah.
of Middle America, and that's their mass. That they're people think because all the attention's on New York and LA, the two coasts, the big cities, where the art and the coolness is. But the fucking mass majority of America's in between those two coasts.
Yeah.
Right, where it's not fancy and ritzy ditzy and liberal and all that. It's fucking middle America. It's conservative. It's puritanical. It's quite fucking religious. So you can't go around saying, "Yeah, I fucking tried the pot and it was fucking."
It's time to change now.
Yes,
Because you
yes,
got
I
Kamala
agree.
Harris come out and she admitted to it, didn't she? Thinking that she's going to get cool points.
What's
you know?
not- vote.
Oh, right.
But of
they
course-
see straight through it.
No, but of course she was a prosecutor and she prosecuted a lot of
Oh,
poor black
fuck's
people.
sake. Oh, God.
And she was laughing on a radio podcast saying, "Oh
About
yeah,
trying pot.
I smoked it. I listened to
Oh, the
Snoop Dogg."
short-sightedness of that,
She-
Mike.
and the thing is,
You're making
Snoop
my
Dogg
skin
wasn't even
crawl.
out when she was in college when she professed that she smoked it.
Oh, so it's all just made up PR
Yeah.
bullshit that we.
And
But
it
the thing is, we
backfired.
all fucking know it now, don't we? That's
Yeah,
why the
of
game,
course.
whole political game's
It's gone.
unraveling, isn't
Yeah,
it?
that's why Trump's president. 30 years ago, Trump would never have been elected president.
Not a chance. That's why everyone...
No.
Wasn't it tragic but also hilarious in the Michael Moore movie? Sorry to keep going on about it, but I only watched it last night, listeners, so it's fresh.
I haven't seen all of it. I've seen about three-quarters of it.
But it was at the start, wasn't it, where it showed everyone... It was so cringe right at the start of the movie, showing how certain everyone was on election night.
Oh, fuck yeah.
Laughing at the prospect of him winning like it was...
Yeah.
Like you
Well,
said...
They couldn't believe it. They
Basket full of deplorables.
Yeah.
All his voters are. The arrogance in it.
Number 4 on the list is a misuse of funds of the Arkansas Development Finance Authority. So Arkansas is giving funds by the federal government, the Clintons are misusing it. Yeah.
Arkansas.
Arkansas, sorry. Yeah. Well, Arkansas, whatever. Why did I write Arkansas? I keep saying Arkansas.
That's how you spell it. It's
Yeah.
really annoying, isn't it?
Yeah.
It
Should have
does,
a
look
W
like,
at the end.
it does look like Arkansas. But
He should have a W at the end of his
they
Arkansas.
pronounce it Arkansas.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Arkansas.
Yeah.
Nappy sack, Arkansas.
They also apparently use the Bank of Credit and Commerce International to launder money. Doesn't surprise you. Bring all that drug money in, you got to find somewhere to keep it.
You gotta clean
Look at
it
the
up
problem.
somehow.
Look at the problems Tony Montana had in Scarface trying to get the money into the bank.
Oh,
Yeah.
Pablo Escobar spends...
Well, he crops up in a bit.
he spends thousands on elastic bands.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah.
He had a problem with rats eating millions of dollars, didn't he?
Yeah. So they were nibbling the dollar notes.
Yeah, he literally had so much physical money just stacked up in places.
So it rotted underground. didn't it?
Yeah, and rats were eating it and shit like that. And,
Yeah.
How the other half live, eh?
I have a bit. I quite like Pablo. I don't. I know it's controversial, but yes, he sold a lot of drugs. But who was he selling the drugs to? Mainly wealthy Americans.
Mainly
'Cause
people who wanted drugs.
Because cocaine at the time was a high-profile drug. It was the actors, the wealthy who had it, and he made a lot of money out of them. But what did he do with that money? Yes, all right. He had his massive mansion, and he bought all his mates' dirt bikes. But he also built hospitals and schools and stadiums and encouraged the communities. He'd put some of the money back at least.
Yeah. So,
I mean, I wouldn't do that if I was him.
That's because you're a cunt.
I don't deny that. I don't deny that at all. But you know what I'm saying, didn't you? I mean, he didn't have to do it. He could have been a cunt.
I think we talked about this on our Gary Webb episode, but I'll just touch on it briefly. It's just a brief fact that I find just so fucked about America and the world, really. But so cocaine and crack cocaine are essentially the same thing, but crack cocaine has been cooked down with other chemicals and split up so you can make more profit and that's at a street level that you get crack cocaine. Whereas cocaine is more of a white collar.
And isn't cocaine powder and the crack is a rock form?
Yes. Now, same chemical though, essentially starts off as the same thing, but the punishment for the two differs though.
course.
I can't remember the exact figures though, but it's something like, essentially if you're a young black man who gets caught on the streets with crack cocaine, you might go to prison for the rest of your life.
Yeah.
But if you're a white guy, gets caught with a bit of powder cocaine, it is literally treated as the two drugs are in
fully believe it, yeah.
different scheduled drugs and treated differently.
And that's
so,
because of the inherent racism in the American system.
And well, there's definitely racism, of course, but I think it's a kind of classism
As well.
that's mixed
Definitely.
into where it's like keep the poor down and in prison.
Yeah.
But you're a middle class white guy caught with some high value cocaine, you might get a fucking
Yeah,
fine
you hear
or-
stories, don't you, of like someone gets raped at a college or something like that.
No, it just goes away.
Yeah, and because they're a rich
That
kid.
summer dude did,
Yeah.
didn't he?
And the judge said,
'Cause they're
oh,
incredibly
it's going
rich
to ruin his
father.
life.
Make some
He
donations.
goes to prison, it'll ruin your life.
There's some guy in an American college.
Wow.
He was like an athlete. He
And
was
he
a
got
swimmer,
prospect.
and he was like he's got a prospect. You could be an Olympic swimmer, a professional swimmer,
So he
whatever.
was let off.
And he raped some girl, and it was blatant that he raped her. He's like, yeah, but if I send him down, it'll ruin his prospects. He's got a future ahead of him. You're like, he just raped somebody, Judge.
And the poor black kid, he gets sent down.
But even
course.
if that black kid was like going to be the next Muhammad Ali or the next world class American football athlete or whatever, you know he'd have been sent down.
Well, it's back to this thing that sorry to the listener, we were talking off mic, it's fairly topical, I'll just touch on it briefly, the Dave Chappelle thing. I read somebody saying today, well, like, the sort of woke people want black voices to be heard.
Yeah.
Until that black voice isn't saying the thing that they agree with.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But in that case, then is their view that the black voice should be the victim's voice.
That's how they want it to be.
That's
Yes,
how they want
because
it to
there's some weird psychological shit going on with
It's
this
guilt,
whole
isn't it?
woke
It's that
thing,
collective guilt that for some reason people think we've all got to have about what happened 200 years ago. No, it was
so
shit.
it's a
but at the end of the
way
day, we didn't do it, and we're all pretty tolerant. So what's the matter?
It's a way overused term, but the virtue signalling, it is real. It's massively real because of online life and social media life. You have to signal to everyone else your virtue and how good you are and what you believe in by shitting on people with fire and brim. But then you go and sit next to them on the bus with no idea.
Yeah.
Hey, something weird happened to me briefly. I follow somebody on Twitter just because she's fit.
Right.
Like
Happens to us all.
high level fit. I saw she was in the same pub that we were in, and I felt weird as shit. Sat on the next table to us, and I was just like, I felt like a fucking weirdo because I was just like, oh my god, people are real. People from online are actually real. And I wanted to like say something. I couldn't say to the owner, could I? Like, oh god, I hope she doesn't listen this week.
Have you never had a tweet up?
I'm joking. No, I just literally followed this girl.
I
because
had a
she
tweet
is,
up once.
like 11 out of 10, and
Wow.
obviously
You tell me who
everyone,
she is after all.
I saw every head turn in the pub and was kind of like, oh, make it obvious. Hang on. Oh God, I'm a creep who follows her. I'm just sitting on the next
Let's
table.
think she follows you in real life. Follows you in real
It's
life.
so weird. And I kept thinking like, she was there with a boyfriend, but I was like, if I was here alone when I turned round and said like,
hello, I follow you on the Twitter, but now we're here in real life. Can I have a selfie?
Can we have a tweet up and I'll send a tweet? Yeah. Back to the Clintons.
fuck, the world is fucked. Anyway,
In
sorry.
at number 6.
In 6.
Profiting from drug smuggling at Mina Airport and protecting Barry Seal's drug smuggling activities. Now, Barry Seal was a TWA pilot turned
What a
smuggler
legend.
who then took the DAA shilling.
Played by Tom Cruise.
Yes, in the
Have
film.
you seen the movie?
Yeah.
Fucking amazing movie.
Yeah.
And became an informer. He was killed by Pablo Escobar's cartel in 1986.
Please don't hate me, but I can't resist. Informer. Aliki boom boom down. Back to him. What did he do?
Yeah, he was a TWA pilot who flew in drugs into Mina Airport.
Was the movie
DA,
correct?
The DA caught him and then he took their shilling, started working for them, but turned informer and was eventually killed by
I was gonna say-
hitmen hired by Pablo Escobar.
I was going to say, did Pablo actually kill him? Or
No,
just
he
in
was.
the movie?
There was
Well,
hitmen
well,
hired
he's
by
hit,
his.
yeah, you know what I mean. No, he ordered his.
He ordered his death.
I guess he had
him
to,
and his cartel. Well, you have to, don't you? I mean,
Yeah, them's the rules, man.
them's the rules, my friend.
Snitches
I mean,
get
that's it.
stitches.
But
the
several
poor
stitches
guy
into
was-
your face.
Yeah, the
More
poor
than
guy
likely.
didn't have much choice though.
No,
did
that's
he?
it.
He'd been
You
lent on
either
from
go to
every
jail
side.
for the rest of your fucking life,
Yeah.
or you work for us, and maybe you won't get found out, and maybe you'll get out of this in one piece.
Yeah, and you might be killed by him. But if you don't do this, you go to jail anyway. So
Yeah.
what you?
And you know what? You might die in prison. Who knows? Who can say?
But
they
this was
also-
all coming through Arkansas, wasn't it?
They also murdered several witnesses to the drug smuggling operation, including covering up the deaths of 2 boys who were found dead on the railway near the airport. They were Kevin Ives, aged 17, and Don Henry, aged 16. And we got a
The boys
little
on
bit
the
of
track.
an article. Yeah, the boys on the tracks.
This is fucked up.
So yeah, the boys on the tracks. On August 23rd, 1987, the bodies of 16-year-old Don Henry and 17-year-old Kevin Ives were hit by a cargo train in Alexander, Arkansas. Arkansas. As they lay on the tracks, the train driver attempted to stop and blew the horn, but the momentum of the train carried it over the bodies. The death was initially ruled an accident as a result of the boys sleeping on the tracks due to marijuana intoxication. The parents of the boys insisted on a second autopsy, and after exhumation, it was ruled that this is not the case and likely a homicide. Later, another pathologist ruled Don Henry's shirt showed evidence of a stab wound.
That's dodgy, innit?
So if you
There's
scroll
way more to it, like, if you keep going.
yeah.
Gets dodgier.
Just a 75 car, 6,000 ton Union Pacific locomotive. Wow. Spotted 2 boys lying motionless across the tracks. They also claimed they were wrapped in green tarp. Nearby was a .22 caliber rifle and a flashlight. The bodies did not move when they blared the horn, And though they stopped the train, they were unable to avoid running over the bodies and reported the incidents to railroad and law enforcement authorities. By 4:40 a.m. that morning, police arrived on the scene. Apparently, police never found a tarp. The boys had left around midnight to go hunting. The gun and flashlight near the body suggested they were using an illegal hunting technique which involves blinding the prey before shooting it, known as spotlighting. And that is...
Yeah, it happens in the UK.
We call it lamping in the UK.
Yeah. It's very illegal.
It is illegal. I've been lamping. I shouldn't admit to that. But
What did you blindfold?
I didn't blindfold anything. I just trying to...
Oh.
What you do is you take a very powerful torch and either...
I read that as you blindfold the prey like a chicken.
Now what you do...
So he's going to sneak up on his fox and get a fucking blindfold on it.
So I was really confused. Like, we do that in the UK.
Now what you do
That.
is usually it's rabbits.
Yeah.
Because rabbits, when they get into a bright light, tend to stand up and look. So you have like a 1,000,000 candle torch, and you have two of you. One's a spotter, one's a shooter. You shine the torch around, you see the eyes reflected back at you. The rabbit stands up, and the guy with the rifle aims between those glowing eyes, fires, pulls the trigger, dead rabbit.
It's of course highly dangerous because it's the black of night.
It is, yeah.
Not blindfolded rabbits then.
No one's blindfolding wild rabbits.
There's a reason it's illegal.
Although saying that, Mike, if they have got myxomatosis, then they can't see anyway, so yeah, technically blindfolded, but they'll still stand up for the light.
Right, so, these kids, we're going to get into it now, Mike, because we were just saying before it cut, if you're new, you're fresh to this, totally fresh.
Yep.
This case in particular, even if it's got fuck all to do with them Clintons at the end of the day, this is a fucked up
It's
case.
dodgy as fuck, yeah.
Fuck out Arkansas, fuck me. Anyway, right, so where were we?
So the autopsies, the state medical examiner, Dr. Fahmy Malak, appointed by Bill Clinton,
Boom.
ruled the death an accident as a result of marijuana intoxication.
This is what you're supposed to believe, Mike.
Saying the boys had smoked the equivalent of 20 marijuana cigarettes and
Fell asleep on the tracks, bro.
Yeah, just fell asleep with 20 marijuana cigarettes.
They were so high, man, they didn't hear the train coming, mate.
They just thought, hey, you know them train tracks there? That's a good
lie
place
on
to
them,
sleep.
high as fuck.
Yeah, because really, sleeping on a train track, that would put one of a fucking crick in your neck, wouldn't it?
Also, with the ingestion of marijuana, if you're that high, would not your heightened sense of danger kick in with the paranoia elements of like...
Yeah.
Because I know the cartoonish way to play it in Hollywood, like, hey bro, man, like, I'm so stoned, I don't know what's happening, man. I'm gonna lie on the tracks, man. No, wouldn't you be way more like, nah, dude, they're fucking freight trains
Mate,
come down
even
here,
even if I was drunk off my fucking face, I'd never lie on train tracks.
No, I'm not going to say that because I've done some fucked up things.
I have you got an innate self of sense.
You might not. I'm just saying I
Yeah, but
might
surely you must
be
have
that
this innate
thick.
sense of self-preservation.
I don't know.
You wouldn't lie there and fall asleep.
I'm going to.
You might
say
lie
to
there
you,
for a minute, but you might not fall asleep.
knowing myself, how I could have conceivably, possibly thought, it'd be alright. These are abandoned, disused lines.
No, in Telford,
and
yes,
confused them
possibly.
with another one, and lay there thinking this is cool, looking at the sky, and fell asleep. I could see that happening to me, but the idea that could be happen through marijuana alone, fuck up.
And sounding a massive... I mean, these trains have got some fucking big hooters on them, haven't they?
But it's
Let's
just
face
the
it.
rumble of the rails
Yeah.
when it's 2 miles away.
Yeah,
I don't know. I'm not a train expert.
No,
I'm
you've
just
got to, haven't you?
guessing.
I mean, how heavy is it? It's like 67,000... 67
minute.
tons or something like that.
Nah.
It's 74 carriages long. You're telling me that's not vibrating along the rails?
So before we get into the rest of it, where are you so far, Mike?
Looking dodgy so far, mate, I've got to say.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
The parents surprisingly did not accept this finding, and in March 1998, Dr. James Garriott of San Antonio offered a second opinion and was sceptical of findings about marijuana. A second autopsy by a Georgia medical examiner, Dr. Joseph Burton, found the equivalent of 1 or 2 marijuana cigarettes, not 20. But saying that,
But how big's a marijuana cigarette? Single one you make's different from the no two are the same, so how do they quantify it?
you
To
can't
be
quantify,
fair, when I was
but also...
17, it only took me 1 marijuana cigarette and I was gone.
Yeah, but to pass out to the
No.
point where a train's going to run you over.
Never passed out.
And your mate as well. You and your mate
Yeah.
both passed out to the point the train
I've never
smashed
passed
you.
out on weed.
Have I passed out because of weed? Weed and alcohol I've passed out.
See, 1 to 2, all right, 1 to 2 is still, no matter how much you're packing it, is not 20, is it? Let's face it.
You can't
20
quantify.
joints. Yeah, you can't. You can
So
quantify
those
1
kids-
or 2 or 20. But I also
So those
saying
kids
that,
went out there and sat for 2-3 hours and fucking power smoked 20 fucking joints.
Actually, they weren't
Each.
there for like an hour and a half, really. They went out there at midnight. Sorry, they went out about didn't they go at midnight and they found the bodies at 4:40? The train hit them at 4 o'clock.
4:40
So
a.m.
6,000 tons that train weighed.
4:40 a.m. it hit them.
Yeah.
Oh no. 4:40 a.m. police arrived on the scene, so it was early hours of the morning.
The boys left at around midnight.
Right.
So in 4 hours, they've caned 20 joints each.
That's like 5 an hour.
Rolling.
It's
That's
the
all.
problem with it. This was the 90s, and I guess the arrogance of these people. This is me just speculating. All right, I can't back this up factually, but the arrogance of these people to think, oh yeah, but marijuana is not as prevalent as it is right now today. So remember what we were talking about off mic about when you study a play, social, historical, and political context. Let's put marijuana into social, political, historical context.
Oh, yeah, you're right,
In the
yeah.
sort of mid to late 90s, it was still very much seen as a drug,
Oh yeah.
wasn't
yeah.
it? It's a drug. It's in the same category as the other drugs, right? So it might be conceivable for them in their arrogance to think we could fucking tell America that you smoke 20 marijuana cigarettes and you'll be so fucked you'll fall asleep on a train line.
Yeah,
and
it's
get run over by a
good
train.
PR for the fact that you, even though you're bringing drugs into the country,
But
you're
everyone who
appearing anti-drug.
But everyone who actually uses marijuana at the time and now looking back, but everyone at the time who actually smoked it would have been looking at this going, fuck off.
Yeah, absolutely.
But if you've got absolutely zero experience of marijuana
Yeah.
personally,
Of course.
in 1997 or 1998, can you not? I can conceive of a lot of people being able to be told, oh yeah, you smoke 20 marijuana cigarettes, you'll fall asleep to the point where a fucking freight train will run you over. Whoa, just say no, kids. Whereas every stoner alive at the time would have been thinking, fuck no.
But
They believe reefer madness in the 30s.
Exactly.
But I also want to point out how the autopsy was 1988, the second one. When was the first one? 1986? 1987, so a year later. How much marijuana's left in the system after the bodies have been dug back up again and had this second
I don't
autopsy?
know.
I don't know how,
How much would
it works.
how much would that stay in the system is what I'm saying. So he might find evidence that they'd smoked 1 or 2. The guy who did it fresh might have found evidence there was 20.
Yeah, I could.
But they just bring us on to
Devil's advocate, knowing
But-
nothing about
but-
how the degradation of a body works, I could conceivably, definitely in my ignorance, say I could imagine that being true, that if you tested it fresh body, having one reading, testing that body,
a year later.
having a completely different reading. But I guess some chemist or
think
scientist or
it's a-
biologist could completely destroy that.
Probably.
I think it's a moot point anyway, because apparently a grand jury ruled the deaths of probable homicide.
Yeah.
Oh, it
Including
gets so much more
when
dodgy
when
shit
it
to
was found that Don Henry's shirt contained evidence of a stab wound to the back,
Yes.
and Kevin Eyes may have had his skull crushed by his own rifle, it was changed to definite homicide.
What did
Uh,
those
the
two
local-
kids see, Mike,
Yeah,
while they were out lamping that night?
Interestingly, the local sheriff wasn't re-elected, and Don Henry's father also noted his son would never have risked his gun getting scratched by laying it on gravel. This also ties into a later point I've got, and I might as well say it now. One of the accusations levelled at the Clintons is protecting the state medical examiner, who was repeatedly accused of misstating the cause of death in several autopsies.
Hired by Clinton.
Well, he was appointed by Clinton to
So
make
what-
that initial decision.
Put your fucking Columbo hat on.
Just one more thing.
What does that tell you? If you've been in... Is it beyond the fucking realms of possibility that you as the state governor, who have the power to decide which coroner it is, can have that coroner in your pocket? It happens, mate.
Yeah.
Call me a tinfoil hat, whatever, listener. That fucking happens in America because it's different from the UK. Each state is a law unto itself in a
Exactly.
kind of way.
They have an umbrella government, and
Right.
each state is effectively
Yeah, it's a federal
self-governing,
thing.
isn't it?
So you own that county,
Yeah.
right? We've all seen the Dukes of Hazzard. But you know, I'm
yes,
sorry,
it's in
but
Daisy Duke.
you own that fucking county. You appoint the fucking coroner.
Yeah.
So you're going to tell me I'm tinfoil hat for assuming and guessing then that you as the man in power appointing the coroner cannot have that coroner in your pocket and dictate what the result of the autopsy will be.
Yeah.
Using your power and influence. Maybe no money changed hands. Maybe it's as simple as
Maybe-
mate, you know I can fuck you. I can fuck you, Mr. Coroner, if I want to. I'm the coroner, bitch.
Maybe he's got something on him.
You find something and you get
Yeah.
you put him in a situation where you got something when you send a 19-year-old fucking hooker to lure him into something, you photograph it.
Yeah.
I had to do that mission on Grand Theft Auto. Then you go back to the fucking politician and you threaten him with the photos and you've got him in your pocket.
Yeah.
Or, as we've touched on in the satanic fucking episodes, he's in your cult. You know he's done some weird shit.
Yeah, yeah.
And son...
And there is also the theory that Hillary Clinton is a massive Satanist.
She has to be. Possibly, potentially. But my point is,
Allegedly.
already, we're not in the meat of this story. This Boys on the Tracks could be a 3-hour episode, Mike. It's that detailed. There's so much to this case. Stab wounds, things like that. Weird people being spotted around.
Yeah.
What did these lads witness that justified
Yeah.
them being fucking shot on the spot?
I mean, it says here, 1 week before the boys died, a man wearing military fatigues was spotted not too far from the train tracks. When police officer Danny Allen attempted to stop him, the man opened fire and managed to disappear into
Well, that's
the night.
dodgy to start with, isn't
Yeah.
it?
Firing on the police
Yeah.
in military fatigue.
Who would arguably identify themselves as a police officer?
Be quite obvious, wouldn't it?
Yeah, I'm a police
The
officer.
uniform.
What are you doing? Well, no, it's dark.
They
he did-
identify them,
It's
and they
dark. He disappeared into the night.
Are you trained?
So let's
I
assume that he
assume
pulls
trained
up.
to identify yourself immediately as the officer.
Yeah, I'm a
though,
police
aren't
officer.
you?
Yeah, police freeze.
Yeah.
Will be your opening line, wouldn't it?
I'd imagine.
Police, stop what you're doing. You'd think that will be your
In
opening
a situation like this where it's dark or whatever, it's not immediately obvious, or the person hasn't seen you, it's not enough to just go, I've got a gun, I'll shoot you. I'm sure in your training
Yeah.
it's like, police.
Yeah.
That's what it says in the
But
movie.
let's assume that it's night, so let's assume that let's take a step of assumption. Let's say he pulls up in his squad car, his headlights are on, he sees the bloke in military fatigues. Yeah? He gets out the car. Police, issues a challenge, freeze what you're doing.
Hand on the gun.
Hand
just
on
in
the gun.
case.
This dude then draws on him, puts warning shots down, presumably, not wanting to kill a police officer, because that's a bit more heat than you need when you...
Yeah.
And if he is trained, you'd think if he wanted to kill the copper,
He would have killed him.
he stood right next to his lit up car.
Yeah, he's behind the door, let's say, but he's illuminated. He's probably holding a torch as well.
Very easy to spot in
So,
the dark.
he
He fires a warning shot, I think I'd go
puts a
with that.
couple of rounds into the hood of the car.
Unless it's a
and
weirdo
fucks off.
hunter. If it's some weirdo hunter in fatigues, he might not have them
Yeah.
skills. But if we're going to assume this was a military man, let's say he had the training and skills to
Why would you wear the
Fire
fatigues
it.
though? Why would you wear camouflage gear?
Aren't you from the local? I'm just devil's advocating off the top of my head. You're from the local base. You're on a mission from the governor. Your
I
local
suppose
base.
so.
you're-
If you've been issued a directive from the governor, you can...
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Or a mission from the whoever's in charge of the local base, but who is in the pocket of the governor
Yeah.
of the state. These kids were shot for a reason, or stabbed for a
Or
reason.
bludgeoned to death for a reason.
They were killed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Apparently on the same night the boys died, a similar looking man dressed in military fatigues was spotted nearby.
And
Was he casing the spot?
I suppose to be again devil's advocate for Mr. Bill. Is it likely he ordered these deaths? No, because it was in the middle of the night. I think there's a knee-jerk reaction from somebody who wanted to get rid of some witnesses. But he was definitely in charge of placing the coroner.
To do
Right?
the auto. That
Of
guy.
choosing the coroner.
So that on that specific night, at that specific shift, that guy who Bill chose did the autopsies that next day.
So he was in
Could
his
have, I'd imagine there's several coroners, but that guy was the one who was appointed by Bill and did those autopsies.
And listen, if you want to go further into this one, and that like there's a story, like there's a Netflix thing I think as well, and like the mother for years she didn't give up on this, and she pressed on and on and on and on, and like never got what she wanted out of Bill, an explanation, an apology. Imagine the trauma of like not getting a straight answer from how your kid died when your kid died in very weird circumstances and having 2 or 3 different official answers and opinions. The trauma of that.
Isn't it? Yeah.
Of course it is. You got one coroner who's the state coroner who you should be able to trust because he's your statesman, he's your guy from where you live. He's the local guy, he does all. And he's saying, they smoke loads of weed. Oh, my son never smoked weed. And the dad's like, oh, he loved that rifle. I mean, let's gloss over the fact he's got a love of guns. But he's like, no, that was his prized possession. He wouldn't let it just lie on the ground.
Well,
he looked after that.
In that part of the world, this is probably absolutely perfectly normal behaviour for 2 young men, even teenage lads at their age, in rural areas. Even in Britain, because we don't know, we're fucking suburban people.
We're reasonably, we're semi-country, but I've been lamping.
We're very close to the country, but we're suburban as fuck. Or urban as fuck. But my point is that it's so normal for teenage lads to be out hunting and doing things like that.
Maybe have a couple of joints while they do it, but I bet their dads do exactly the fucking same.
Yeah, or a few beers, why not? But something obviously fucked up happened, didn't they? Well, were they witnessing one of these cocaine drops?
Well, that's the thing, is they found one.
Oh, yeah.
So they found a drug drop
juicy.
From an airplane, similar to Barry Seal's operations.
Because it was, as we know, factually, literally dropped from planes and picked up by somebody on the ground, was it not?
Yeah.
Gangster, drug dealer style, but all state sanctioned.
Exactly. Yeah, it's. So did they find it? I mean, Dan Harmon, a prosecutor of the case, later arrested for dealing drugs, is one person implicated in the murder. Keith McCaskey, also implicated in the murder, was stabbed to death on November 10th, 1988. Former professional wrestler Billy Jack Haynes claimed to have videotaped the boys being run over by the train. Wow. The case was profiled on the television programme Unsolved Mysteries, who was who played fucking Riker. Didn't he do that for a bit?
Yes.
He'd been doing that then, wouldn't he?
Oh, what's his fuck? That's
William something?
Something Fawkes. William Fawkes. Oh fuck, what's his name? Riker. He was my favourite character on it.
Oh, he was awesome.
I wanted to be Riker.
Yeah, because he was number 2, so he had the power, but he also just fucked on the holodeck all the time.
Yeah, got to be a bit of a rebel. He was cool. He's the one who you think might have too many whiskies and fucking smack some alien in the face. In the bar, like.
Shut the fuck up. He was the closest that series had to Kirk in a way.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. He's a spiritual successor to Captain
in a way, yeah,
Kirk.
but he's being tempered by Picard's superior captainship.
I want the fucking. I want the solo series of him in charge of his own ship.
I'd like to see that actually, yeah. Because you know that.
I've never thought about this.
Whereas the captain is on the holodeck fucking in the 18th century. He's in a French. He's in a Parisian.
He's in a 1920s shootout. He's been dealing dodgy cocaine.
Yeah, while he's having a shootout while he's stood behind. He's in one of those beautiful 1930s sedans with the suicide doors, firing a Tommy gun while getting sucked off simultaneously. Yeah.
I want Riker the Netflix series now. Fuck Picard, he always held me back, that fucking pansy bitch. Fucking limey prick.
No Earl Grey for me, it's Scotch on the rocks, bitch.
Scotch on the rocks and a blowjob. Now! Captain Kirk was an F-bomb! An intergalactic F-bomb! He racially abuses Worf when he's had too many scotch. And then he gets him in like a
funny.
Oi, Richard! How come your security officer getting beat up by everyone?
And Worf just Worf could kill him at any second.
No, because Worf couldn't, because Worf's the biggest fraud in Star Trek history. Because he's security, he's the only Klingon that can't fight.
He's got that big thing though.
Yeah, he does all that. The second someone punches him, he's out.
Did you ever see
he's
that
the Frank
photo?
Bruno of Star Trek. He's got a glass jaw.
But did you ever see that fucking it was some police force raided some kid's room and confiscated a bunch of knives and weapons and crossbows, and one of them, like the biggest prominent thing in the picture, because the police had no idea what it was and they thought they just took this deadly weapon off the streets. This came from a 14-year-old's bedroom. It was a fucking replica of that thing that Worf
Curved
uses.
sword.
Yes.
Yeah.
Blunt as fuck, and it was there prominent in the middle. Look at this. Like, oh fuck. And the comments were just absolutely ravaging them. It was one of them things. It went viral based on the comments of Klingon jokes and fucking, oh god.
So I've got in my room an Empire Strikes Back lightsaber replica of Darth Vader's.
Yeah, and when the police do finally catch up with you for all the shit you said in this podcast, yes, that will be used against you.
Look at this guy, he's got a lightsaber. That's fucking pretty cool though, isn't it, eh?
Lightsaber. He has carved into the side of it swastikas.
No, Gaz, it's a replica hilt, I'm not ruining that.
Oh, can I please have a...
Yeah, I need to go. So the Whitewater controversy, or the Whitewater scandal, or simply Whitewater, was an American political controversy of the 1990s. It began with an investigation into the real estate investments of Bill and Hillary Clinton and their associates, Jim McDougal and Susan McDougal, in the Whitewater Development Corporation. This failed business venture was incorporated in 1979 with the purpose of developing vacation properties on land along the White River. A March 1992 New York Times article published during the 1992 US presidential campaign reported that Clinton's then governor and first lady of Arkansas had invested and lost money in the Whitewater Development Corporation. So there you go, they're losing money. And should they be investing in stuff like that if they're in that position?
I don't know the laws on it and stuff, to be honest, but
it's certainly one that's cropped up.
I mean, I don't. You're still allowed as a member of public office. You're still allowed to have private commercial interests, aren't you? I don't know. I don't know whether that.
What it is more than anything is that the source of the criminal allegations, David Hale, claimed in November 1993 that Bill Clinton had pressured him into providing an illegal $300,000 loan to Susan McDougal, the Clintons' partner in the Whitewater land deal.
Is he president at this point?
He's the guy in charge.
No, he's governor of Arkansas.
He's not president yet.
No.
He was president 92, wasn't he? 92 to 2000.
Yes. Was he 2000?
Yeah. No. It was. That's when Bush came into power.
But is
yeah.
this stuff coming to light? Just if this stuff
if he's
is
a president, then he can't have these.
Right. But I think
that's why Donald Trump had to sign his business over to his son, didn't he? Because he can't personally. As president, you can't have interest.
What I think is happening here, though, is if that's the case, then this is stuff that happened previously to 1992 that's being reported in 1992. You know what I'm saying?
Might be different as a governor than I imagine.
Remember, you can't prosecute the president.
We're always telling you, listener, you are the fact checker, but I'll do it quick. Let's get a timeline on when Bill was.
That
governor.
Nixon and the Watergate thing. You can't prosecute a president. Right? You can impeach them. You can't prosecute them. So Nixon resigned, and I think it was Jimmy Carter came after him. And the first thing he did, because now Nixon's a civilian and he can be prosecuted for Watergate, first thing Carter did was pardon him. All look after their own, don't they? All look after their own. The last one I've got. Actually, sorry, a couple I've got.
No, Mike, he served from 93 to 2001. So it was into the late...
Okay, he was elected 92. They were elected in November, aren't they?
He served as 42nd President of the States from 93 to 2001. Prior to his presidency, he was the Governor of Arkansas from 1979 to 1981, and again from 83 to 92. And the Attorney General of Arkansas from 1977 to 1979. So it was so I guess it was the cusp of 92 to 93.
They were elected in November,
where he went from,
and then they were inaugurated in the January after, aren't they?
Yeah. So it's still conceivable. So for the 7 months of the year, he was Governor of Arkansas and doing his dealings, and then
absolutely.
So why is this a controversy though? Then
he shouldn't be taking loans like that to give to someone
Oh,
else.
so this one isn't a murder one. Then.
No, this is financial.
I guess. All right. So this just proves that he is just he's a bit of a dodgy dealer.
He's out for himself. He's out for the family. He's out for his.
He will break the law basically
Yeah.
to make money, which is a characteristic I suppose will come into play when we're trying to judge this whole conspiracy.
So they're also covering up the death of a certain Vince Foster, who we'll get to on the list, which we've got coming up. Whoa!
Good case, so good.
Man, that's usually me.
I know, yeah.
Go on, Mike.
Go on, chug it, chug.
He's saving an overflowing beer for the listener.
Did you get on any mic stuff?
No, nothing important. Don't worry.
It's alright then.
Right, and the last one, the documentary sort of hints at is using contacts at Rose Law Firm to shred documents that would have implicated the Clintons in scandals.
Right.
Not unheard of, is it?
No, but it's just again, it's characteristic of who they are. Then as people, like they're in this. They're not in this for the good of we're going to serve the people and be good governors. Like this is just all further steps to climbing up the financial ladder.
This is just make
raking
more
in
money
as much money as we can.
End up at the fucking top.
Yeah, we'll be.
Could be president one day.
I bet that never. I like the theory that Bill maybe had no plans to be president ever until after he was such a good boy during the whole, Iran-Contra drugs. He was such a good boy.
Think about it. I mean,
but then
Reagan
the people higher than him
North,
realised, that he was a malleable, good servant, a good soldier who will work for the right rewards. He wants to make money. We could take this guy to the top.
Yeah, because Reagan and North were like, it was looking like Reagan was going to be maybe the first president to be done for treason at one point. And then North stepped in, took the blame, and then all of a sudden, all them documents, my secretary shredded them. Sorry.
So we know.
So if but remember, it's a Republican president, a Democrat governor, but they're all in the same bed.
Of course they are.
Party lines don't matter at that point, do they? They're doing it for your country, doesn't matter at that point. It's all
They're
about
part of the 1%, and that's more important.
Yeah. Keeping that status and being in that club.
Yeah.
And that's who the world is ruled by, ladies and gents. It is.
And you can see there, right before he becomes president, obviously his main concerns are making as much money as he can off this fucking property deal, even through illegal means. And then a few months later, he stood up in front of the American public trying to paint himself out as a moral leader, as someone who's going to save the country or whatever. Like they all say the same old shit, but
he's following
every president since
who's he following?
Second World War.
No.
If they go by the Nuremberg trials, should have been hanged as a war criminal.
That is a good question, but who was the first?
It was George W. Bush. No, George H.W.
Yes,
Bush.
it was.
Yeah.
Bush's dad, wasn't it?
Bush's dad,
The guy who complained about The Simpsons.
Yeah.
When we were very little. Do you have a vague memory of
I
that?
remember the Bush episode.
Do you remember the quote? What sparked it? Do you remember this, Mike? The quote? George Bush Sr. said, "I wish American families would be a little bit more like the Waltons and a lot less like The Simpsons."
Yeah.
The Simpsons was fresh and brand new, and this is even mind-blowing to think. Again, cultural, historical, political context. When The Simpsons hit our screens, it was, in some quarters, considered fairly fucking controversial.
Edgy, yeah.
Very fucking edgy. Yeah. And like this realistic display of... Remember in the first season where they go to Marvin Monroe to the...
the family therapist.
Therapy, and they start battering each other with... this was in early 90s it is.
You had Martha Stewart's who were...
And kids, I got bullied for this, I regretted it afterwards, but at the time when I actually bought them, we went to some market somewhere and there was Bart Simpson trainers with Bart Simpson, and I was so obsessed with him.
I had a
cool
Bart
was
t-shirt.
Mate, when I was 10, so there's this new big character and he's a kid and he cheeks adults, says what he wants, does what he wants.
Eat my shorts, man.
Yeah, man, don't have a cow, man.
I had a folder for school with Bart Simpson on the front with a catapult that says "Underachieving is cool."
Underachievement.
I was in school.
Yes, underachievement
I should have had that.
is cool. Underachiever and proud.
That's it. Yeah.
Underachiever and proud.
I had a t-shirt with his face and said "Eat my shorts."
Yeah.
Mate. So we're all upset. So then you get the president of the US, the moral majority, the Just Say No, because it was his missus wanted to do the Just Say No campaign and all that. Yeah, he literally said, "I want us to be all more like the Waltons and less like the Simpsons." But speaking of that, and on the Dave Chappelle thing that we were talking about earlier, I fucking completely lost my train of thought again. This happens a lot. what were we just on about directly before the Simpsons controversy?
Bush was in power.
They wanted the family to be more like the Waltons and the Simpsons.
It'll come back to me, but anyway, yeah. Why were we even on about? Oh, so we're on about the early 90s,
Yeah.
right? So
Yeah, Betty White. And,
that was it.
yeah.
That's what he was saying. Dave Chappelle. He was talking about the opiate epidemic that's taken over basically white working class and middle class.
Yeah.
It's not a black problem, and he says, I've got sympathy and all that because I feel. It reminds me of the crack epidemic in the 80s in the black community and how I know how we were treated by the mainstream and he was like, well, guess what, guys? Just say no.
Yeah.
Because that's what I was fucking told. Imagine how patronising. And I've never thought about it until he said it. And I thought, so your entire community's been ravaged by a crack epidemic being made possible by the actual government importing it in the first place. Yeah. And then they're on the TV telling you, just say no.
And then Hillary, Bill Clinton's crime bill, Hillary called them super predators. And they need to be brought to heel.
Brought to heel.
Can you believe that you fucking...
No, actually,
after her husband had flood the drugs in.
That's an interesting turn of phrase.
It is, that's a
because
power
it's not,
dominance.
No. I think brought to heel.
Like a dog, an
It
animal.
reminds me of an animal. Dog brought to heel.
He's
That's
taming
dominance,
them.
though.
Yeah.
Now, if I say these drug dealers should be stopped, they should be dealt with.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
Yeah,
Right, I'm
brought
with
to
you.
heel, you're saying, we should control them.
Well,
That's what it sounds like to me.
That's not shocking to me, though.
Yeah.
Treat them like,
They should be controlled like a dog, and so we can take
We
our cut.
control
what they're doing, but not they should be stopped. Not they should be arrested. Not they should be taken off somewhere and put on an island where they can do no one any harm anymore.
And didn't Bill
brought to
Clinton
heel.
bring in stop and search? Did he? I think
Possibly.
maybe.
I
He
couldn't
definitely
tell you,
exploded the private prison complex. That's for certain. New crime bills, wasn't it?
We
in
know
the
they're
90s?
corporate masters, and what I hate about being called, like, for saying these things and thinking this way, being called conspiracy theorists and all that. And yeah, maybe you could challenge me and go, what's your evidence? Have you done any real research? And I could probably say, no, I haven't. But I'm just working off kind of human instinct in a way.
Well, it's journalists are putting this shit out as well, and journalists who've been silenced.
I know how the managers of fucking Tesco or Walmart, for our international, I know how the manager of a Walmart acts, right, in his own interest. You know what I'm saying? We've had low-level jobs and that. Of
course,
you know
mate.
how they act in right. So then
I've had
extrapolate that
on your
out.
level who are sound as fuck. As soon as they get promoted, they're in
Little
that club
Hitlers.
then, and they become cunts.
Well, I like to think I'm the
So,
people's management.
All jokes aside, though, extrapolate that out to the people at the very top.
You're right.
deciding
You're
it's
absolutely
gonna
right. They
be
only look after their own
exactly
arse.
the same.
They only look after their own arse. They do.
So the
I
idea to
think
think that they don't, and that they don't lie to us, and that they don't murder and do all this dodgy shit, and they'll never be out in the open, they'll never come out and say it. To think that they don't, and to accept what we're told by the mainstream, that we're fucking conspiracy theorists and idiots
That's the
for
beauty
thinking
of the
it.
spin.
I'm not fucking buying into. I'm not saying every governor and every politician is bent and murderous, and all. I'm not saying that. But to think that none of them abuse that power like a little fucking Walmart manager abuses his power at his level, to think that they don't shows to me a complete lack of understanding of how human nature really is.
I love it.
It's naivety.
Naive, childish,
Yeah.
even. Yeah.
I love it when the beast of Bolsover called out Tories.
Oh, what did he say?
He said,
What's
half
his name?
of you sitting over there are crooks. And the Speaker of the House says, retract that now. He says, alright, half of them ain't crooks.
Yeah, I love shit like that.
What's his name again?
I love
Forget his name, he's called the Beast of Bolsover MP.
He's a Labour MP in this country.
Was this fairly
Dennis
recent,
Skinner.
or-
Dennis Skinner, that's it.
He's like 70-something. He doesn't give a fuck anymore.
When was this? Was this
it's
fairly
like-
recent?
Yeah, a couple of years ago.
Oh,
tops, yeah.
legend, absolutely. I love quick wit like that.
And he got escorted out for that. He was like told to
Really?
leave for the day. Yeah.
Fucking.
But
And he's
the
been
thing
there
is-
serving for all that
the thing
time.
is,
50 years, yeah.
I'd go there. I'd fucking give him shit. You know me. I'd throw the old F-bomb in there.
I just tell it like it is. I
Yeah,
say,
tell it like
you guys have committed murder
and
on
if it is-
120,000 people. Do you know what I mean?
If someone did that though, Mike, they'd become a political hero and rise right to the top. But for some reason, either people are too scared or someone like Jeremy tries it, and because he's not right and because he's easy, and it frustrates the shit out of me on social media, friends and people who have bought into this thing of he's a clown, like family members.
He's a communist.
But working class family members who haven't got, who hate him. They've been fed the fucking line. They think he's a clown, this hippie clown jam jar fool who's gonna, what we've got now is bad, but if he gets it, oh fuck, it'll be even worse.
My dad's the same.
It's
He's
mental.
a communist. And I'm like, how do you think
He's
that?
not. He's a democratic socialist.
I said, stop listening to the BBC. I don't watch the BBC. I said, you watch the world news every morning when you wake up at 6 a.m. You watch the news.
I've been reading.
It's the BBC World Service. You're watching it.
I've been reading some interesting shit about that because you know how, if this is your first episode listening, but the boys know that although being fairly politically aware, I do ignore the actual news as much as humanly possible for as long as I can. For long periods, then I hear little bits and we end up talking about the little bits I've heard and that. Avoiding it. Oh shit.
Pretend we don't do a news show, innit? What little bits of news have you heard this week then, guys?
This week?
The week our democracy died.
You can't even think of one. It'd be a shit
Come on,
show.
Gaz, our democracy died this week. You must have heard about that.
I've seen on Twitter this word that I've never seen before, prolongation or something.
Yeah, prorogation.
There you go. It's got an L in there somewhere when it's written down. I'm aware something big's going on.
Have you heard the...
Only from Twitter though. I have not heard a single news broadcast or watched a single solitary fucking second
there has been.
of television news for almost 3 weeks, mate. Because that's how long I've been off work. 3 weeks. We're in the 3rd week now. I haven't watched 1 second of television news or listened to the radio because I haven't been in the van either.
I'll fill you in.
Only Twitter.
Boris Johnson, the Prime Minister of this country,
He's shut down.
Unelected Prime Minister.
elected by 140,000 Conservative
Actually,
It's in the
less than
headlines.
that,
He shut
actually. It's
down.
been 90,000.
I've got the gist of it, mate, from the headline. He shut down Parliament
Yep.
during the most important week when they should be debating
Yeah.
Brexit, and everyone's saying it's a dictator move.
He's saying that it's so that his new, not party, what's the word?
Government.
New government can formulate ideas about policies to go
But
forward,
he has
which
no-
is legitimate, which they do, normally for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
He's doing it for nearly a month.
But he has no majority government.
He does.
Just about.
He has one majority.
One majority.
That's all you need.
Actually, there was a defector today. He
Has he?
said that he would.
He would. He hasn't yet. Until they do it, I don't trust
Said
these
that he will
Tory fucks.
go for the stop the no deal Brexit. But
Basically, Johnson wants a no-deal Brexit, so he thinks that if he can stop Parliament from debating it, we'll run out of time to get a deal.
Economic expert in this country, or 99% of them, because there's always that 1% that will differ. 99% of them are saying it's going to fuck us completely.
He
There's
doesn't-
no medicine
He
shortages.
doesn't care though.
You've got
He's a
pharmacies-
millionaire.
You've got pharmacies in this country now running out of medicine, and it's because of Brexit. And
Kids are eating loo paper because they're starving.
yeah. How are things going to get better?
He doesn't
But
care.
his
He
power
does
base,
not care.
his
All he
power
cares about is
base
himself.
is the over 55s who sadly turn out to vote in massive fucking numbers because they're all cunts.
Right, let's get back to this list because we've got 1 hour till I get picked up.
Right,
A bit of inside baseball for the listener. That's why it's going to sound fast.
yeah, that's,
I'm joking, I'm joking.
that's my point. So we go on the list now of the people they've allegedly killed.
Yeah, let's do it.
It's a list of 30, I believe, but as I say, it could be as high as 90. Clinton Deadpool. James McDougall, Clinton's convicted Whitewater partner, died of an apparent heart attack while in solitary confinement. He was a key witness in the Ken Starr investigation.
Could have been a heart attack.
Yeah, another one dying in solitary confinement.
Could have
Interesting.
been a heart attack.
Was
Could
he on
have been-
suicide watch as well?
Aye.
Could have been chemically
Or
induced.
taken off?
We've gone through this. In America, you just watch them commit suicide.
Oh,
You
yeah.
actually watch them not do
Literally
it.
suicide.
Yeah.
watch. We're American, we don't get irony, so we took it literally, and I watched him suicide.
Well done for offending all of our 90% of our listeners who are American.
I'm sorry.
Mary Mahoney, a former White House intern, was murdered in July 1997 at a Starbucks coffee shop in Georgetown. The murder just happened after she was about to go public with a story of sexual harassment in the White House.
Could be coincidence.
Could be a
People die all
coincidence.
the time.
There's a lot of shootings in America. Who knows? Vince Foster, former White House counsellor and colleague of Hillary Clinton at Little Rock's Rose Law Firm, who showed all the documents, died of a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide.
Could have shot himself.
Could have. Ron Brown, Secretary of Commerce and former DNC chairman, reported to have died by impact in a plane crash. A pathologist close to the investigation reported there was a hole in the top of Brown's skull resembling a gunshot wound. At the time of his death, Brown was being investigated and spoke publicly of his willingness to cut a deal with the prosecutors. The rest of the people on the plane also died. A few days later, the air traffic controller committed suicide.
Would you like to know something else? The day after Ron Brown's lawyer was killed in a drive-by shooting. Coincidence.
Interesting.
I also heard that one air stewardess. Now, you listener, the fact checker, but I heard that an air stewardess didn't die, but died in the ambulance on the way to the hospital, which is perfectly plausibly innocent.
Yeah?
She also could have, because she
How
died
could you
from
have
a
looked, Princess Diana?
lacerated. She died from a lacerated
Artery.
main vein.
Femur.
Yeah. In a
Femur
leg,
artery?
I think it was in a leg. Yeah.
Female artery then.
Perfectly plausible. Could have happened in the plane crash, but also could have been like, whoa, do you remember the bomb going off?
Yeah. Just take that tourniquet off.
Yeah. Just saying.
C. Victor Reiser, a major player in the Clinton fundraising organisation, died in a private plane crash in July 1992.
A lot of plane crashes. One of the safest forms of travel, did you know that?
Apparently so.
Yeah.
Paul Tully, Democratic National Committee political director, found dead in a hotel room, described by Clinton as a dear friend and trusted advisor.
Until he wasn't.
Ed Wiley, Clinton fundraiser, found dead November 1993, deep in the woods of Virginia, VA,
Yeah.
of a gunshot wound to the head, ruled a suicide. He died on the same day as his wife, who claimed... on the same day, his wife claimed that Bill Clinton groped her in the Oval Office.
She didn't die on the same
No.
day. Right.
The same day that she said Bill Clinton groped me,
He shot
died
himself.
in the
later.
Oval Office, he shot himself.
Okay, I can maybe see the...
Maybe a bit of a cuckold thing going on there, wasn't a fan.
Or just like, oh, she's fucked us.
Yeah.
Like, do you know what I mean? Life's fucked now. My power political career that I had planned is fucked.
I was going
You
to be a congressman, damn it.
Exactly, if you don't move up the ladder when your missus accuses him of, you were supposed to, that's how you move the ladder, bitch.
Yeah.
That's how I move up, you don't say anything. Oh,
Or Bill's crossed the line, the guy's going to talk.
and then he was taken.
Or he confronted Bill and was, do what you know, get the fuck out of
One
here.
less problem in it.
One less problem.
Or it was a message to her.
Bit of both.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If that's the day where you're like, and they've heard wind of it, she's got the journalists gathered, the meeting's booked, there's the press conference going to be, but can't attend because my husband shot himself in the woods.
Yeah. Stranger happens, isn't it?
Oh, you think you'd be there to support her through it, wouldn't you?
Yeah,
If
you would,
if my
yeah.
missus came and told me tomorrow somebody did that to her, A, I'd want to kill him, but B, I'm not going to go and kill myself. I'm going to support her through the time that she needs.
Yeah. Another time I saved you, it's at the train station when that guy
How is that even remotely
close.
related? Mike, I'm looking at you for help here.
He was sexually harassing your girlfriend and I chased it, you chased him off and I helped you out.
Yeah, it's still fair to say that's related.
Well,
But-
anyway.
Okay, I'm joking.
James Bunch, Jerry Parks.
It's James Blunt's cousin.
Just Bunch. With Jerry Parks first, head of Clinton's security team in Little Rock, gunned down in his car at a deserted intersection outside Little Rock Parks. The son said his father was building a dossier on Clinton. He allegedly threatened to reveal his information. After he died, the files were mysteriously removed from his house. And you'd argue Clinton's head of security knows him better than anybody, wouldn't you? James Bunch died from a gunshot suicide. Reported he had a black book of people which contained names of influential people who visited prostitutes in Texas and Arkansas.
The Black Book.
I was just
Oh,
about to
there's
say,
there's
man, this
black
is
books,
just
isn't
so juicy, this conspiracy. Come on, man.
Totally.
Yeah. James Wilson, found dead in May 1983 from an apparent hanging suicide, reported to have ties to the Whitewater conspiracy. Kathy Ferguson, ex-wife of Arkansas trooper Danny Ferguson, was found dead. Found dead in May 1994 in a living room with a gunshot wound to her head. It was ruled to be a suicide, even though there were several packed suitcases, as if she was going somewhere.
They were for my husband. Just it was to make it easier after I shot myself.
Yeah.
Honest. Come on.
Bill Shelton, Arkansas State Trooper and fiancé of Kathy Ferguson, critical of the suicide of his fiancé, he was found dead in 1994 June of a gunshot wound, also ruled suicide.
Hang on.
At the grave of his fiancée.
The husband of somebody else on the list also turned up dead after raising suspicions over the circumstances
At the grave
of the death.
Yeah.
Hang on, of his fiancée, who is also on this list.
And then he knelt at her grave, put a gun in his nose, presumably, and shot himself.
Who wrote this? Shakespeare?
Isn't it just cliche? It's a bit cliche though, isn't it? I mean...
It's a bit.
It's a bit bullshit.
13, Gandhi Bao, attorney for Clinton's friend Dan Lasseter, died by jumping over a window of a tall building January 1994. His client was a convicted drug distributor. Florence Martin, accountant and subcontractor of the CIA, was related to the Barry Seal Mena, Arkansas airport drug smuggling case. He died of 3 gunshot wounds. Suzanne Coleman reported an affair with Clinton when he was in Arkansas. Died of a gunshot wound to the back of the head. Ruled suicide. Was pregnant at the time of her death.
I tell you what, if I knew this many people
That
that
died?
shot themselves in the head, I'd be really fucking concerned.
I'd
And
be concerned
really
I was not a happy
anti-gun.
person to be around.
I know! I'd be like, why is everybody dying?
Yeah, why is everyone I've interacted with recently shooting themselves in the head? Am I not a good person to be around?
After you take a token, you do. Hey, Hillary. Why does everybody we know keep dying? I don't know, Bill. Just shut the fuck up.
Do you think...
Right? Go play your saxophone, you little
Here's a
fucking
question.
prick.
Who's really running the roost? Yeah. We have Hillary.
Sorry for our international
Definitely.
listeners. That noise I just made then, that noise was her.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry.
We don't pronounce H's in
Yeah,
Shropshire.
we were fairly close. It was her.
But it's an os for a horse and it's an hospital for hospital.
Yeah.
We don't pronounce H's.
I've
Sorry.
been to the hospital. Right, sorry, listener. Anyway,
Is anyone want to do
I
the next
think it's
couple
her.
what a fag?
Paula Grover, where's it? Oh, okay. She was Clinton's speech. Oh no, this is dark.
This is dark.
Clinton's speech interpreter for the deaf.
Oh,
How could she tell Bill, you cunt? Fucking these cunts.
Oh, she wasn't deaf, she just knew sign language. She's telling the deaf people what he's been doing.
Alright then, but we don't know she wasn't deaf factually. Maybe that's why she was so good at this. Oh no, she had to hear him to translate it. Did you
Yeah.
see? I've just
Yeah.
realised the flaw in my logic and my fucking my shock. And Nora Bill Clinton shooting a deaf woman was misplaced, listener. And I will backtrack immediately and read it sensibly like a BBC reporter. Paul Grover, Clinton's speech interpreter for the deaf from 1978 until her death on December the 9th, 1992. She died in a one-car accident, which happens. It's perfectly plausible. It does happen. Danny Casolaro, investigative reporter, investigating Mena Airport and Arkansas Development Finance Authority. He slit his wrists apparently in the middle of his investigation. Number 18, Paul Wiltshire, attorney investigating corruption at Mena Airport with Casolaro, the previous guy on the list, and the 1980 October surprise, was found dead on a toilet June 22nd, 1993, in his Washington, D.C. apartment. He had delivered a report to Janet Reno 3 weeks before his death. Number 19, John Parnell Walker, Whitewater investigator for Resolution Trust Corporation. He jumped to his death from his Arlington, Virginia apartment balcony August 15, 1993. He was investigating the Morgan Guarantee scandal. Number 20, Barbara Wise, Commerce Department staffer. She worked closely with Ron Bound and John Huang. I guess that's how you say that. The cause of death unknown. She died November 29th, 1996. Her bruised, naked body was found locked in her office at the department.
How can that be an unknown death?
How can you kill yourself and then lock yourself in your own... Number 21, Charles Messina. No idea how to pronounce that.
No, I'm guessing Messina.
Meissner.
Sorry.
Meissner, maybe?
Yeah, Meissner. Assistant Secretary of Commerce who gave John Huang special security clearance, died shortly thereafter in a small plane crash.
Another plane crash.
Yes, lots of these.
Lots of plane crashes and gunshots.
I'll give you
isn't
the
there?
actual statistics on how many people they know died in what circumstance
Okay.
later on. Number 22, Dr. Stanley Hurd, Chairman of the National Chiropractic Healthcare Advisory Committee. That's a strange thing to be a head of.
Yeah.
Anyway, he died with his attorney, Steve Dickinson, in a small plane crash.
No, another plane crash.
Dr. Hurd, in addition to serving on Clinton's advisory council, personally treated Clinton's mother, stepfather, and brother. Number 23, Barry Seal.
Oh, we know it, him.
Yeah, drug running TWA pilot. Number 24, Johnny Lawthorne Jr., mechanic, found a cheque made out to Bill Clinton in the trunk of a car left at his repair shop. He was found dead after he had hit a utility pole.
Unlucky bugger.
Yeah. That one may be an accident.
Could be. Number 25, Stanley Huggins, investigated Madison Guantry. I don't know how to say that, I apologise. His death was purported suicide and his report was never released.
Wow.
Herschel Friday. Now that's an American name if ever I heard one. Our name's Herschel Friday.
It's definitely a Kansas name, isn't it? Arkansas name.
He was the attorney and Clinton fundraiser. He died March 1st, 1994 when his plane exploded.
These planes don't just tend to explode.
If I was a friend of Clinton, I would be on the bus every day.
No, the thing is, planes, they've been around for a long time, haven't they? They don't tend to just fall out the sky, planes. It's
It
very
happens,
rare that
doesn't it?
happens.
But
it does
it's
happen, but it's very rare it happens.
To the point where when it does happen, it's investigated to the point of like
They reconstruct
scrutiny.
the fucking plane from
so
the
they
wreckage.
can understand why and how and keep it as the safest form of transport,
Have you-
statistically speaking, on the planet.
Have you ever watched Air Crash Investigation on National
Bits of
Geographic?
it, but it does freak me out too much because
I mean, they literally they gather all the fucking wreckage down to the last particle, as much as they can gather.
Oh yeah.
And just build the plane again. You go, alright then, what went wrong? And they work for fucking years on this stuff. And these planes just blowing up. I refuse to believe that.
Well, so number 27, we've already been through the boys on the tracks. There's a thing there that says the following persons had information on the Ives Henry case, which is the boys on the tracks, isn't it?
Yeah.
So, number 28, Keith Coney died when his motorcycle slammed into the back of a truck.
Well,
Keith McCaskill died, stabbed 113 times.
who the fuck is he, Julius Caesar? 113 times? Is there anywhere left to stab at that point?
November 1998.
Literally, is there anywhere left to stab?
No. Gregory Collins died from a gunshot wound January 1989. Jeff Rhodes. He was shot, mutilated, and found burned in a trash dump in April 1989. Now, if that's not sending a message, I don't know what is.
Mutilation could be fucking
Look,
anything.
we've
couldn't
killed
it?
a few of you witnesses so far, and you keep insisting on fucking pressing ahead with it. This guy, look what happened to him.
Yeah. And when you say mutilated, that could be like anything. That could be from like cuts to parts of the body removed, things like that. I mean, it could be the mind
It's
basically
not a normal
boggles, isn't it?
stab, kill, run away. Is
No.
it? You've
But then
done
again,
shit.
neither is stabbing someone 113 times.
No, not at all. Frenzied, ridiculous.
You've got time to do that, haven't you?
Is this not sending
Same
a
as
message?
mutilation, you've got time to do that.
This
You've made
could
this
all be-
person suffer.
And I did read an article that said this could all be confirmation bias, and
Could
it
be.
is possible that all these things are completely and utterly unrelated. But if you want to try and join the dots, man, it's fun and scary to think that you're trying to send a message to these witnesses. One dude is stabbed 113 fucking times.
Yeah.
That's a way deeper message than just stabbed to death once, isn't it? That's like,
Fucking-
fucker, you and your family, do you want to experience that? Then mutilation, burning and dumped in a trash can.
That's a message. I
Right.
agree, that's a message.
Then we get to number 32, James Milan, found, and I didn't even read ahead, found decapitated, However, the coroner ruled his death was due to, quote, natural causes.
Get the fuck out of it!
Yeah, people cut their heads off the entire time, don't they? People are always doing that, cutting their own heads off.
Oh, man.
Was it in the first Highlander movie, you know, that fight in the garage? And then they find the decapitated body of that Spanish dude who's an horse, and like, hey, maybe he cut his own head off. Like, yeah, maybe they did. Unlikely though, isn't it? But unlikely. Actually, I'm going for James Milan is actually an immortal, and that someone cut his head off.
That's what it was.
He could have bought a new samurai sword and he's got alien hand syndrome.
Oh, maybe he's a bit of a Doctor Strangelove.
Yeah.
Cut his own head off with that new shiny, sharp samurai katana.
Cut your head off to spite your face.
Maybe he's Mine Clinton.
Yeah.
Mine Clinton. Head off. And the last thing he utters to his lips is, should have done that.
So, in order, we've gone from stabbed 133 times, mutilated, burnt and dumped in a trash can. These cunts still aren't getting it. Cut his fucking head off.
You there, you attorney, that coroner I appointed. What was it? Natural causes, sir.
It just fell off.
Yeah.
He smoked too much marijuana and it fell off. The following Clinton, and I'm going to go into a little tiny bit of detail on one of these because I found it really interesting because it links to the Waco fucking tragedy incident. So this is just a quick list then, listener. No explanations why or how, but this is a list of Clinton bodyguards who are also dead. Major Williams, he's got a double name. Major William. Oh, sorry, I'm being really stupid.
These are ranks, guys.
I'd love it if you cut that, Mike. Major William S. Barclay Jr., Captain Scott J. Reynolds, Sergeant Brian Hanley, Sergeant Tim Sabell, Major General William Robertson, Colonel William Dessenberger, Colonel Robert Kelly, Specialist Gary Rhodes, Steve Willis, Robert Williams, Conway LeBleu, and Todd McKeenan.
It's not Gary Rhodes the chef, is it?
With his spike, yeah, he was killed because of his hair. Hair. Sorry, Americans.
Notice how he's a specialist. That means he was a chef as well.
This
Wonder what happened to him. Now we know.
Well, this list was written
Now we
before.
know.
This list was written before the Epstein controversy because it says the most recent is Seth Rich, the DC staffer murdered and, quote, robbed of nothing. On July the 10th, WikiLeaks founder Assange claims that Seth Rich had info on the DNC email scandal.
This was the one that I heard at the time.
Yeah.
This introduced me to this
Now,
theory of the Clinton body count.
with the Waco thing, before we sum it up and give our opinions, I'll get the name in 2 seconds, but in Waco, that one guy who went in was killed by friendly fire.
Yeah.
Shot in the back.
Let me guess, it was one of these guys.
He was shot in the back by friendly fire.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, as you suppose it does happen.
It's.
But you'd argue that he'd be wearing body armour and back.
Oh no, sorry, no, I'm being completely fucking infactual. He was not shot in the back. I'm sorry. I'm thinking of something else. What is even more fucked? If you watch the Waco footage,
Yeah.
right, and they go in through this window. I can paint this for the listener. So you go in through a window.
So you infill through the window.
Right.
Which is making
Like
yourself a
inwards.
target because you're
Right.
climbing through a small space.
So you walk in, 2 or 3 of them go in through the small window in the ladder. You then hear gunfire and see bullets coming back through the wall.
Okay.
The way they've just walked in.
Makes sense.
As if,
Someone's fired back at them.
or potentially the first guy went in, the second guy came in, the first guy turned around and just fucking killed
That's a possibility.
the second guy. And this
Either
guy,
way, then bullets are being fired from the opposite way through the window.
yeah, but it was then ruled that he was killed by friendly fire. So he was killed by bullets from his own. But you can see the footage of them going in that way,
Yeah.
and then those bullets coming out this way.
The only thing I would argue there is that you've got to look at the calibre of the bullet wounds.
But that's how they know it was friendly fire, though, don't they? Is that
Yeah,
what
so,
they
so let's say, for example, they're using M16 rifles and they're 5.56 calibre, then yeah, but...
But the official story is...
Yes, but I would argue
Friendly
that those
fire.
5.56 rounds wouldn't go through a concrete wall.
It wasn't
Even
a
at
concrete.
those
It wasn't a concrete wall. It was
Well,
like a
wooden
house,
wooden
American
house.
type
Oh, they're going
structure.
to do that.
But then the official story, the official cause of death is they're not hiding. Is friendly fire.
Yeah. Which, let's
But you
face it, the
can
Americans
see-
are very fond of a friendly fire incident.
But you can watch the video footage of them go in through the window and the bullets come back this way. Now, there could be confusion in that room, a shootout with the opposition. You don't know what's happened. He could have turned and fired.
Oh no, I would. Well, the thing is, your
They're
guys,
professionals.
your guys, are all trained to storm a building.
What if
They're
you
in-
get? Have I seen too many movies? But what if you get, for devil's advocate, you get shot, and your fingers on the trigger, and you're fucking
Well,
spraying
it can
around.
happen.
and
It
you-
can happen. I mean, you know, if you get shot and you clench your finger.
But
Yeah,
what if that guy who died in the friendly fire just happened to be a former bodyguard of Clinton who was transferred to this unit only a few days previously?
Well, either it's incredible bad luck, or something happened, didn't it? It's one or the other.
Now, also there are people that claim
And the best time to kill someone is during a firefight.
of course, yeah.
I mean,
Friendly
the
fire.
amount of it's an unspoken thing in several armed forces. The best time to kill an unpopular officer is in the middle of battle. And let's face it, it's fucking happened hundreds of thousands of times over the course of warfare.
Oh yeah, this
You know,
guy's your
if
officer.
you've
He's
got-
been a cunty for
Yeah.
the past 2
Yeah.
years.
Some people also claim that,
Exactly.
that
You're going to shoot him in the back the first chance you get, aren't
Yeah,
you?
of course.
Or if he's leading you on a suicide charge,
Yeah.
this was the
you're going to
perfect
shoot him in
murder.
the back.
This was obviously the perfect murder,
Of
wasn't
course.
it? Like I said,
Yeah,
imagine
absolutely, I agree.
The two of them go up the ladder. The first one who goes in knows what his job is. He waits till number two walks in behind him. He simply turns around and fucking executes him. Right?
The of course the fucking argument there is, and it will always be debated, is was there someone in the room or was there not?
Well,
That's
to
the
play
question you've got,
devil's
isn't it?
advocate, some people say that the bullets coming back through the wall were from a Branch Davidian firing at the
Yeah, that's what
officers.
you'd assume.
Right. So why was he killed by friendly fire then?
Yes.
That's so.
Because if someone's coming in behind you, you're the first man in the room. The first thing you're doing, you're clearing the room. You're scanning it for threats. If that room is clear, then in theory,
move through.
you shout to the next guy, the room is clear, who will then transmit that to the third guy down the ladder, room clear. So you all know you're going into a clear room. And then you progress onwards. So if he's killed by friendly fire, in that scenario, the guy who was the first in, sure, unless anyone
Oh
rocks...
shit! Sorry, I'm being really. There was 3 guards.
Right.
3 guards killed
In
at
that...
the Waco shootout who were former Clinton bodyguards.
What year was this again?
Waco 93.
93.
He's just become president.
Yeah.
Now, some
So,
people
they know
claim
too much and they've been transferred to a unit that is likely to be involved in these kind of situations in the hope they'll be killed
Do
off,
you-
or the opportunity will arise for them to be killed off.
Have you looked much into Waco?
No.
I know about it a little bit, but
Because some
I'm not-
people claim that you can add the 80 people that died there to the Clinton body count.
You could argue that,
Because
yeah.
it was a government-sanctioned massacre.
Yes, it was. Well, they set fire. The argument is they set fire to their own building. But you could also argue that the amount of,
They
not
used-
munitions as such, but certainly gunfire in the
They had
siege
guns,
could
man.
have...
But attacking them
it
with
was
tanks.
a siege. It was, they had guns, we had guns, they had tanks, the government had tanks.
The government went in with tanks and got. And like there's. Shit. Waco. We'll do Waco one day. It's
Yeah.
Bill Hicks was there reporting live from the. Yeah, he was recording video there as the siege was happening because he just saw it as an absolute affront to, you know, Dix. He was a liberal. What would you describe him politically? I guess he was just a liberal.
I'd call him
I was going to say
progressive.
libertarian, progressive. No, libertarian's that's the wrong word. Completely wrong word.
I'd say
But yeah.
progressive.
But anyway, he was there reporting on the tragedy as it happened because he saw what was happening. He saw how fucking dark it was. So tangentially, then I've got this little table here that says, and obviously, listener, this is all allegedly, and it could all be confirmation bias, but it's, you know, we're just thinking about it. So this,
It's one hell of a coincidence.
Certainly is.
there's a lot of, you know, you're being asked mentally to accept a lot of fucking fateful happenings on
See,
you.
my thing is...
Okay, here we go. So,
Right.
of the 89 deaths on this list, and this was obviously written before Epstein and possibly this list was written before, what's his face, Seth Rich. So, of the 89 on the list, it says that there were 59 people on this list died in 12 different plane crashes.
That's a high statistic.
13 people on this list were killed by murder. 10 people on this list, it was suicide. 4 people on the list were that says 4, I thought it was 3, but it says Waco assault, so there was those guys in Waco.
Interesting.
And then 3 that are accidents, like I guess car crashes, falling downstairs.
Getting stoned on the tracks.
Well, yes.
Yeah, getting stoned on the tracks, yeah. So I refuse to believe, I honestly think your innate sense of self-preservation comes to the fore and, hey, maybe I shouldn't sleep on the train tracks. Maybe I should sleep to the side of it.
Everything about that thing is bullshit. I've even heard on the level, not even at Clinton's, we're thinking big conspiracy, they saw the drug deal and that. I've heard some say that they just seen something, maybe they seen a person of prominence walking out of a certain location at a certain time, and it was just decided, well, them 2 kids on the
Who are they?
with the torches, go.
Yeah.
And the arrogance of thinking we could just cover this up and fob off the mother.
Maybe Bill was coming out of somewhere he shouldn't have been.
Well, yeah, not betting on the fact that the mother will obviously fucking fight this dogmatically till her fucking dying days to get a fucking
and
straight
so well
answer.
she should, in
Exactly.
all fairness, yeah.
But their arrogance of thinking we can just fucking we own the coroner, so they'll accept the coroner's arrogance of that. It was 20 marijuana cigarettes, so they fell asleep to the train ran over them, and the mother going no, and then it coming out that there was crushed skulls and stab wounds. You know.
Thing is, I mean, if they
There's someone
didn't
up now,
have his skull crushed by his own rifle, where's the rifle? Why you'd have blood, you'd have bone, you'd have hair on the butt of that rifle. Where's the rifle?
Even if all this is absolute coincidence, at the very least, the fact that fucking Bill Clinton employed that coroner, and it's not a fucking leap to assume that Bill controlled what the coroner was going to fucking say as the most senior, powerful man in said state, which, as we discussed earlier, which sometimes I don't think UK people understand very much, is that each state is a law to itself, and the FBI is the federal thing that covers all the states, but each state has its separate governor, its separate court, its own.
Remember, you got your own police force as well. You got 2
Exactly,
police.
yeah.
You got federal police. You got state police
Who overrule the state police and like come in and you see in the movies all the time they come over
So
take
if
over
the
the
federal police
investigation.
rock up to a case, and you're a state
Well, that's
trooper.
what's fucked about the marijuana law is at a state level it's legal, but the federal
Yeah.
government still come in and bust people and raid people and arrest people and fuck people off.
Yeah.
Right? Even in fucking state, I think it's happening a lot less now, but I definitely read articles of legitimate businesses who've been running in states, making good money, everything above board, everything legal, and because the state doesn't like it, comes in, overrules the local authority and just fucking busts
They probably
these
have
places.
their
the
preferred
federal-
sellers,
Yeah.
their mates.
Well,
They've got
it
an
says in
investment in their company.
Yeah, the guy, the federal chap in charge thinks, you know what, hey, I've got a stake in this weed company.
I've got an
That guy's
investment in the
making too
weed
much
company
money.
down the road, and this
Yeah.
cunt's killing him because he's
Yeah.
got better shit.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah.
I know what I can do about that.
It's
It's good.
capitalism.
That's capitalism.
It's all
Them's
alleged.
the rules.
I know it's all alleged, and if you're a regular listener, you know we have a very open-minded, I guess, tongue-in-cheek approach to conspiracy theory and all that. But
Usually all aliens.
yes, but I would say to believe that the people in power, not even at the highest level, just at a state level, and in the UK, if you're a UK listener, you're head of the county, you're the head of the county council. If you think that these people are not corrupt and lying, weaseling, even murderous, some of them, cunts, to protect their own position and power and think that they've spent their whole life dedicated towards getting it means everything to them, this position, this status, it's everything to them. And if you think they're not going to protect it with a legal means, that's fucking naive.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah, it
conspiracy theory. That's fucking childish. So don't fucking... And it's so easy to tell us we're fucking idiots for thinking this way and going down these roads. It's confirmation bias. Maybe the Clintons had nothing to do with a single one of these deaths, but to think that they're not dirty, that they're not criminal,
Yeah.
self-serving, that's fucking ridiculous.
Yeah.
So I guess that's my...
But the system breeds, mate. The system breathes.
and I honestly believe the system is too far gone to redeem itself.
That's why a
I'd agree
revolution,
with that.
mate.
But then you and I disagree on how that revolution should be conducted. But
I'd like us all just to keep our heads down and it all just to get better and not have to do anything like that.
we all
thinking.
but for Mike's
It
plan and for Mike's theory and my theory, we all have to go out there and do something. And not all of us are willing to
That's
do
where
that.
it falls down for me, see.
And that's where it falls down. You don't want to go because you got stuff on. You got your arm in a cast.
I
You,
mean, you
can't fire no rifle with an arm in a cast.
I'm on the sick
you need
this
less
week.
than you think, mate.
But
You
next
need less
week
than
will
you
be at
think.
work.
You need
I know,
like
but-
20, 25%, 30%. Of
I don't think it can be achieved democratically anymore.
course it can.
I don't think it can. I think the system is too entrenched to protect those
If
in
you've got
power.
if you've got a majority in Parliament, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah, you have. But
Well,
the
as you
system
witness
is
what's
too
happening now.
entrenched to get those
They
people
probably said
out
that
of
in
power.
1945. They probably said, the NHS never going to happen, but it did. Things can change. Legislation can be put in place.
I think it's gone too far. I think there's too many interests, too many... I
The
think
trouble
it's
with
gone too far.
capitalism is it needs to grow,
Well, as you said
and
before...
as it grows, it eats the Earth's resources.
It's a great quote you said before. You can't have infinite growth on a finite planet.
No,
Now, for
the
me,
maths is just not there.
yeah, for me, the only way to deal with this is to actually rise up and remove the 1%,
Maybe.
like they did in the Arab Spring, to a point.
Wow.
Well, it was reasonable,
Oh, I remember
successful
that.
to a point, but
Do you know they long for Gaddafi now in Libya?
they do
Apparently
because they
so.
had a really stable government.
Prosperous.
It was prosperous, and the dinar was the strongest currency in Africa.
And now there's
Now
open
you-
slave markets.
Now you've got open slave markets.
I
in
wonder if the
streets.
people who raked
That was
him up his
Clinton.
arse with his
No, it
own...
wasn't. Oh, it's Hillary, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
I wonder
She
if
was
the...
Secretary of State.
You know the people who raked him
She
up
led
the
it.
arse in that cave with a knife, with a bayonet or
It
whatever?
was a sewer pipe, what did they
I
found?
I wonder if they'll end up being raped in a cave for what's happened.
I would imagine
since.
they're already dead.
Yeah, I suppose I never thought about that.
So
'Cause
they
they're
can't
all on
tell the
camera, aren't
tale.
they, with the gold guns
Yeah.
and they're loving it. Yeah, do you reckon
Where did
they
they get
were?
golden guns from?
Well, didn't they
Gaddafi.
Well,
when they his
his personal
possession?
armoury, or they've...
Yeah, they were that, but they did though, didn't they? They
Yeah.
overtook his personal homes and things, and they were there parading around with his possessions and shit. Yeah, that'd be interesting to find out where they are.
Yeah.
That
I
would
think
be
the
interesting.
important lesson to learn, if you're a dictator, is
Don't be mates with Blair.
Don't be mates with Blair, but don't take the piss. Don't
Yeah,
have,
stay in your box.
don't
Know
have-
your role, like the
don't-
box
yeah,
says.
Don't have golden guns.
Yeah.
Yes, all right. Have your mansion. You're in charge. You make
Don't
it-
kill too many
but
people. Don't get silly
don't
with
take
it.
the piss. Don't award yourself a bonus. Don't drive around like Rajneesh. Don't drive around in 90 Rolls Royces. Just all right.
Well,
Have
it
your,
wasn't
have
that
your,
what did him in. It's just they're no longer useful. They're more useful dead.
yeah,
he
you can
wanted
argue,
to
wasn't
get rid of
Gaddafi going to sell in? He was going to sell in his own currency.
Yeah.
Wasn't he going to sell the oil in his own currency, the dinar?
That's it.
And of course, all of Africa would have leapt at that because they've, he would have probably given them some kind of favourable trading deals. Because he,
The US couldn't let that happen.
no, they couldn't.
What do you think then, boys?
I think there's too much shit to be got. Too
Dodgy
much.
as fuck,
It's
is
just
what I'd
dodgy
say.
as fucking.
Yeah.
And
I
before,
don't trust them.
when I was doing my research, I was like, all right, some of this seems a little far fetched, doesn't it? And I've read skeptical articles that say some of these people are still alive, some of them didn't die in the means described to them. But there's like,
There's 90 of them.
there's on this
and
list.
3 of them were wrong.
On this list, there's 46 names. There's up to 90.
Let's say 3 of them are misreported and they're not dead.
Yeah.
That's still fucking 30 odd, come on. If you knew 3 people that had died in weird, and I was thinking about this earlier, it's hard to verbalise, but I was trying to think in my head, okay, the bigger you get as a person, and the more power and prominence you get as a person and celebrity, whatever, then the more people you know. If you run a massive corporation and there's literally thousands of people connected to you, strenuously connected to you, so are you way more likely to be able to say, yes, many people who I am aware of, not necessarily friends with, have died. But then when you start looking at this list, they're not that strenuously linked to the Clintons. These are people directly, more or less, most of them directly involved with the Clintons.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying to you? Like, if,
Yeah.
like, if you, like, all right, there's this number, isn't there? It's got a name, somebody's number that most people can fit about 150 people into their brains, into their life. There's about 150. I might have that number wrong. I'm sorry.
I heard
isn't it?
130.
Okay, yeah, but it's
About
around
that,
that, isn't it? It's got a name.
It's the average
isn't it?
Facebook.
But it's called something.
Number of Facebook friends.
Something's number. It's called.
Yeah.
But it's apparently the sort of limit that you can get psychologically. That's the limit to how many people you can keep in your mental Rolodex. Basically.
Yeah.
If you get what I'm saying, right? That's how many people
Yeah.
you can see their face and their name and go, oh yeah, that's him. There's a number to it. Brains are a certain size. There's only a certain amount of data available, storage space. So, if you're just a regular person who knows 130 people, statistically, how many of those people are likely to die? Probably, a mathematician, a statistician will be able to give me a number for that. So then, all right then, how many people die in like plane crashes?
Yeah. How many of a gunshot wounds to the head?
Shot themselves.
Always the head. Yeah, it's.
And if 90 of them, at least 130 are dead, I'd be concerned.
But even if that's the point I'm getting to, even if you're a man who you're Bill Clinton, your corporation has 500 employees, 10 of them died over the last 10 years, you could maybe say that's a strenuous link then. But then when you start looking at it, it's not as if they're saying the head of the canteen at the Clinton Corporation died or the stores manager died. No, these are fucking campaign managers and lawyers and
bodyguards.
Bodyguards.
Who see
What
everything
did
that goes
they
on.
see?
And you're the
Bodyguards who were told not to join me on the Lolita Express.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Every single...
Not me. Sorry, I was speaking as Clinton then.
Every president is entitled, every president, past or present, is entitled to Secret Service protection for the rest of their lives. They're also entitled to daily CIA briefings, should they want to choose it. A lot of them don't, some do. But every single one has got Secret Service bodyguards, and they are the best bodyguards America has to offer. Their entire job is to guard these important people.
Yeah.
That's their job. Now, if they're getting transferred off to
go and join the SWAT team at Waco.
To assault units in the FBI, and alright, I can see
Don't you know who it was who did Waco? It wasn't FBI, it was... what's the alcohol?
ATF.
Yeah, it was them.
To the ATF, who are hardly a high-profile organisation in terms of American law enforcement. If I was in the Secret Service, I'd want the FBI. I'd want the CIA.
From defending the president to the
ATF, I think is a massive step.
Yeah.
Tell me, if you're
and how weird that the ATF then your particular ATF that you were assigned to in your county just then happened, fairly soon after that to be involved in one of the biggest.
And you're sent in the front line.
Yeah.
Like, no, you've
and
been
none of you came back out.
Look,
Nobody else died.
No, look at it this way.
Nobody else died on the
You've been
ATF.
guarding the president. Your knowledge of counter-terrorism, of
high level.
of bodyguarding, of threat of observation is to the peak, right? Every time you're out with the president in the streets, walking down a street with the president, you're around him. You are scanning the crowd all the time. Anyone that just acts suspiciously, you're on your earpiece. Yeah, someone 3 rows back. They look a bit shifty. Can you get rid of them? Any suspicion you have, right, has to be taken care of. And whether they're removed silently or forcibly dragged out the crowds kicking or screaming, or you have a gunfire incident, you have to observe everybody. And everybody in that team is observing everybody. And for them to get busted down with that level of expertise they've got, they're trained by the best people in this business.
Yeah, and then some moron ATF agents shot him to death.
And then
three of them.
And then some. Oh, by the way, you've gone from that, and now you're in the ATF and you're storming this cult's compound.
That you've just set on fire with
You
there's
just set on
children
fire.
inside.
I
You
think
know
we could
there's
debate this
children
forever.
inside.
I just think it's dodgy as fuck.
Yeah.
And the bodyguards, why would you not retain the expertise these men have got to pass on to the next generation of guards or to guard the next president while the next...
Because they knew he did a lot of coke.
Because they knew he did a lot of kids and fuck... Yeah, that's it. They knew too much. And who knows more than anybody? The people that are looking after you.
No smoke without fire.
That's the way the British legal system works.
Yeah, so I reckon that's
it's
it.
dodgy as shit.
Yeah,
There's
all
definitely
agreed.
something to
I mean,
it.
yeah, it may not, it all may be weird coincidence, but it's dodgy as fuck, innit?
Well, there is an article, if you Google it, listener, I'll just say this to end on, like, if you want some sort of levity, I suppose, like, there is an article I read that said that this could all be put down to basically confirmation bias and certain media outlets whipping things up and all that shit. But I think human instinct leads me to think they're dirty people. Dirty people.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So let's play Full Alex to end the show. Simple game show, really. Mike finds us a couple of random clips of weirdos on the net. We put them against the arch saint of insanity himself, Alex Jones. Remember, it's alright to go a little bit Alex, quarter Alex, half Alex, 3/4 Alex on a train, but never go full Alex.
Were you trying to get crazy with this, eh? Don't you know I'm loco?
So who's up first, Mike?
Favourite of the show, Jesse Lee Peterson.
Oh my god.
No,
Alright, Jesse Lee Peterson, what's he saying?
He's saying Representative Sean Duffy is a beta male and his wife is a selfish woman.
Oh, we've had this beta male before from him, haven't we? Because Jesse Lee Peterson's such an alpha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, he's looks half blind and retarded, so he's such an alpha. Alright, crack on. Sorry, my bitterness is coming out a little bit this week. So, Jesse Lee Peterson
So what you have to say?
apparently loves a beta male, even though he's hardly an alpha himself.
His wife is having a 10th child, and as a result, I guess they did some type of test while the baby is still in the womb, and they found out that the baby has heart problems.
He
and
got 10 kids.
Apparently, the baby's going to have surgery or something, whatever, to correct the problem. But this guy, Sean Duffy, is stepping down from his job because of that. Beta male! But that's not what takes the cake. What takes the cake is that his wife, let me see his wife again,
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
had 9
Not bad for
children.
9 kids.
Let me see another picture of her.
9 kids, she's gorgeous.
9 children
She's gorgeous
with
anyway.
him, apparently. And she's working.
Oh,
She's
Jesus.
one of the Fox News commentators or something like that. And so, my question is, what kind of a woman would be married to a man who can provide? Because this man is a congressperson, I believe. He can provide for the family. Why does she have to work? Why doesn't she stay home, be a wife, a mother, and help raise the children? And now this guy has to step down because this baby apparently has some issues according to what's being reported. My thing is, the man need to continue working. The woman can stay home and deal with whatever issues that need to be done. The man can help out, inform, or whatever he needs to do, but he shouldn't quit his job for that. I guarantee you she's making him do it. This woman is a selfish, egotistical woman. And this man is too beta male to make her do the right thing. And now he's stepping down from his job like a little beta male. This woman is a selfish woman. 9 kids, she's trying to be like a man. Want to be seen by the world as a worker. She's such a working woman. Women, God has given you the gift to be the assistant of the man, to watch over his children, to make sure things are well at home, to be there when the kids come home, to cook, clean, provide in that way. There's no greater job for a woman than that. And I don't know why these men would marry these women if they don't have that mindset. It's like being married to another man. It's selfishness. It's not love. And she's all grinning because she has control over him. He's a beta male. So, Sean Duffy.
He's got 10 kids!
Duffy, you are a beta male. It's ridiculous. Really ridiculous. It's sad for the children.
Alright.
Just say, while you pause it there, that family photo that we can see of the 9 children, to my eyes, two of them, one is a baby of the 9. The next youngest, I'm going to guess, is about 2.
Yeah, the eldest looks about, what, 12, 13?
Yeah, and the rest are ranging in between there. So the vast majority of the 9 children will be at school for 8 hours a day. Obviously going to need their mother to help them in the mornings, in the evenings,
and
that
their
sort of
father.
thing.
Let's not forget
But
their
there's
father.
absolutely no fucking conceivable reason why she can't go out and do a job that she wants to do during the day while these children are at school and while their husband's at work. And if they're wealthy enough, I don't see...
Which they are.
Obviously, and some people might criticise them for this, but again, if you pay a nanny to watch the baby for a few hours a day while you're going to your job, does that make you a fucking bad person? Did anyone in that family photo look to you in any way unhappy, abused,
No.
or like they were not living the sort of dream upper middle class fucking existence, all wearing beautiful clothes in their beautiful home? What a stupidly fucking small-minded... All I could think of while he was saying that was like, what my missus saying? Because I get accused by her of being too old-fashioned and thinking that I can go to work, come home and not have to chip in, basically, which I don't believe. It's just, I'm honestly too fucking tired sometimes and I have to be asked. And that winds her up that she has to ask me. But anyway, that's a bit too much inside information for you, listener. My point is...
I'm going to give us some more inside information, don't we?
This what a fucking bitter, hateful, shitty little man. Why would she want to go out and get a job? What? Oh, maybe for
She's
some
got a
personal
job.
satisfaction, mate. Maybe because she's a human fucking being and she wants something out of this fucking life.
And maybe she's been at home for the last 9 kids. Maybe it's time for the
Exactly.
man to take a bit of time off.
Have a break, yeah.
The baby's got a fucking health condition.
We like I just said.
He's a beta male because the baby's got a health condition. Probably a
Never mind the
1 in
8 other healthy
700,000 chance that this baby's got this condition. It could happen to anybody. And he's on kid number 10. Maybe it's just... And this... Oh, you know what? I'm going to unleash the bitterness. Fuck it. This guy's a massive cunt. And you know what? If anyone who's listening wants to fucking put this to JLP, to Jesse Lee Peterson, the JLP show, I'll call you out and say you're a massive cunt, and I'll fucking call you up and do it. Because you are the lowest dregs of humanity for me. I could shoot you in the face and not feel a flick of a fucking emotion. Seriously, you are the lowest for me. The shit I've heard you say over these months, these last 2 years, I fucking despise you.
He's awful.
You're a terrible human being. You are.
How does
you
it
are
affect him?
absolutely, and I feel sorry for your fucking family. If that's who you are when you get home, if you're doing this for show, well done. You've succeeded. You've triggered me. Well done. Because I would punch your skull into the ground.
Yeah.
But I feel if this is how you are at home, and that's how you address your wife, your children, your daughters, your sons, this is how you talk to them, I feel genuinely sorry for you.
Bigger the front, bigger the back, and all that.
I'll guarantee you he's fucking male prostitutes in a motel.
But
I'll guarantee you.
what's his problem with, like, so the guy's
He's a beta male. He's got 10 kids, mate. How many have you got?
He's got a family.
I'd say he's pretty. I don't know the guy. He's a fucking senator. Fine. He might be a cunt of a senator. He might be a really nice guy. You've got no right to comment on this guy's fucking personal life. You've got no right at all. He's had fucking 9 kids before this. One of them's got a heart condition. Might be a 1 in 200,000 chance. This
He wants
kid's
to
ill.
take time
This
off.
kid's ill. He wants to take some time off. And you're mocking him for that. You're mocking him for this. You know what? He's not even in this competition this week. expunge that from the fucking record. This guy's just a massive prick.
Oh, fuck him.
Right then, so he's expunged the record. Who we got?
Don't know if we're up for the next one. Coach Dave, questioning the Holocaust.
I've actually heard this in midweek.
Friend of the show, Coach Dave.
I don't even want to call him a friend of the show.
He's a regular though,
Twat
isn't
of
he?
the show.
This is what blew me away. The general subdivision of religions of the world is distributed very nearly in the following proportions. 1900, these are the total Christians. Okay, Christians. 405 million Christians in the world. Jews, 7,500,000. Muslims, Mohammedans, 160 million. Buddhists, 350 million. Pagans, 200 million. Other Asiatic religions, 257,500 dollars. But see, 500,000. But see, you just missed the most unbelievable statistic, and I'm not going to get into the depth about it because you're going to call me names.
What?
In 1900, there were 7,500,000 Jews in the world. In 1900, 7,500,000 Jews in the world. This ain't forged. This isn't, what's that thing? It doesn't matter. 7,500,000 Jews in the world. Go back, Connor.
His internet fucked up.
Could somebody explain to me how 6 million of them died in Germany? That's all I'm going to say. I'll let you figure the rest out. So,
This far along's gone off as well.
hey, go to, Connor, go to the Pronunciation Bible, the price, so you guys don't think I'm crazy. Michelle's taking this to the bindery today. I found a place in...
You're going to have to explain this to me when it's,
That's right,
he's
Kevin.
finished talking.
40
I'm
years later,
confused.
6 million of them died, right? In Germany. They were all in Germany and died in Germany?
No.
No.
Uh-oh, I'm making some of you nervous. That's okay. That's okay.
You're fucking incorrect. What was he saying there?
He was basically trying to say that there was only 7.5 million Jews in Europe, and then he backtracked
In
towards the end,
1900?
in 1900, and he backtracked towards the end and said, "Oh, and they were all killed in Germany." Well, no, the answer to that is
Well,
not.
we know they weren't. Poland
They
was
were
the...
they were moved in from all across Europe. There was French Jews, there was Danish Jews, there was German Jews, there was Polish Jews, there was Russian Jews, there was every country you can think of in Europe, Jews.
And
And
he's
on
saying
the
they're all
front of
killed
Britain.
in Germany. They weren't killed in Germany, were they?
No, they were killed across
the
Europe.
Death camps
There
were
was,
all over the fucking...
Yeah, and I would love Dave Dalmar to meet my granddad, who was one of the first guys to liberate Belsen as part of the King Shropshire Light Infantry, and he saw the shit that went on firsthand. He saw the survivors coming out of their tents, wasted echoes of humanity, he referred to them as, and I'd love him to be there, because my granddad, even in his 80s, would beat the fucking shit out of Dave Dalmar
What's this
for even
document?
suggesting this. And this is some document he's got. Well, I would argue that in 1900, when anti-Semitism has always been high in Europe, I'd imagine a lot
It's
of
a
Jews
piece
in
of
Europe.
propaganda, though, isn't it?
Yeah,
Because
I'd
there's
imagine
no
a lot
bush-
of Jews
What
in
is
Europe.
forgetting to mention is that 45 years, the population doubled.
Yeah, I would
So
also
the amount of Jews doubled, so that's 15 million.
always remember
There's
though, Mike,
maths,
it's
you know?
not popular to be a Jew. So you might identify on a census as a Christian.
And you didn't, like, I didn't know this till recently, that part of the propaganda was that they actually made videos of, like guys working in a factory, and they'd be like, and they'd play it to the German people, like, everybody in this factory is a Jew. They've all been moved to another country.
Yeah.
Where they get to work in these lovely factories and have these lovely lives. Look at them all, Jewish, in a factory. And so your average German was like, well, they're all right then, isn't it? We can vote to fucking ship them out. Yeah, we go. So propaganda. So that document, you're not beyond the realms of. We're not in conspiracy theory territory to say that document could be fucking.
Well, exactly.
Doctored
But also
or-
remember, this man believes
And
in a
he's
magic
cheating.
man in the sky, so the
And he's
illusions
quoting
of
it.
reality are quite...
And he's quoting it
Why?
like it's the gospel and it's factual. These guys are fucking. Well, we know he's a dick because we deal with him regular. But so far, On the batshit crazy scale, we're on the hateful scale more than we've had like viciously sexist. We've now got
He's just viciously a prick.
Holocaust denial, just Holocaust denial. So we're on the hateful scale right now. So I think Alex could come in and smash this.
Ooh.
Is he going to go
Good
hateful
verb
too?
to use.
Oh yeah. Oh, okay, here we come.
What's a Alex Jones smashes his Roku with a hammer. I don't know what a Roku is. Can someone help me out?
It's a device, isn't it? It's some sort of internet device,
Something like that,
like
yeah.
an Alexa type. You know,
I'm with him so far.
the type of thing he'd think was insane.
Because I never have one of them in my house.
Come on, Alex, I'm preying on him this week. So we've had 2 hateful cunts this week. They weren't that funny.
No.
So he's
no,
gonna
it
smash
just made me angry.
Yeah. So come on, Alex. I'm counting on you this week.
Control. We'll do 5 more minutes with Tom Pappard in the next hour. TV station manager here, but people ask, "How are you so excited?" I've had 1 cup of coffee today. When this stuff happens, I get energized, man. They're taking our children's birthright. They're killing America in front of us. So if you're a radio listener, I have a hammer in my hand, a small sledgehammer. I don't know the technical name of this. A 4-lib
It's a
sledgehammer.
fucking 4-pound 4-lib. It's a 4-pound claw hammer, Alex.
And I am going to
Four-lib.
smash the Roku commie stick. I mean, I'm not saying take away their free speech. I'm not saying I'm going to shut them down. I wish no harm against them. I'm saying that you're smashing my free speech. You're out of my life. And everyone I know that knows you is going to have you out of their lives. Roku. So, it's fitting that you be destroyed. On top of the Roger Stone book, so I don't smash the table. The Clinton War on Women, available at InfoWarsStore.com. So, bye-bye to Roku. Hello to Cloud. That didn't feel too good. Can we bring it back up here one more time, please? May I have an assistant here? Again,
It's not Alan
I'm not trying to break the table here, so I'm being,
Cringeworthy.
It's going wrong.
I'm being very, very judicious. Yeah, no, it's fine. Can I just have the stick? Thank you. I need to finish killing it. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. All right, I'm being judicious here, but I need to go ahead and act a little bit more manly and take this sucker out. Close shot, please, for the money shot. All right. And now let's get the box. Sorry, that fell off again. Will somebody bring me the box, please? And then we'll smash it on Jeb and the Bush crime family. Yes, we will take care of that for everyone right now. Thank you very much, Daria. There you go. Maybe we should have her do it. She's tougher than I am. Here we go. There we go. Let's see how it like that. I'm really not trying. A little tough little bugger. Not like America. I wish Roku would have joined America, but it just can't seem to do it. That little sucker's tough to take out. I should be wearing safety glasses here and being more politically correct, because I'm not really even hitting it hard. So, come here, I'll get you. Now I'm going to get this guy. This sucker's tough. Roku, you will pay! It's hard than a jar of pickles. Do what? I'm going to use the backside of the hammer. Well, it is a little compound little sucker. I tell you, Roku's almost as tough as the First Amendment. But, you know, they killed it, so maybe we can deal with them. There you go, right there, ladies and gentlemen. Say bye-bye. That's about right there. That got it. Okay, now it's been destroyed. Every bit. It was fun to do. I'm going to stop ranting now. I apologize making you hold, John. John,
Oh, dear.
It's a hard one this week. What do we go over? Because it's supposed to be the insanity scale.
I'm striking the first one from the record. I'm making an executive decision.
Well,
because he's just a twat.
We get that every week, though.
Yeah, but there's levels of trashness.
Okay.
He's just being an idiot. I mean, he's just peddling crap for the sake of peddling crap for his own opinion that's so narrow-minded that he can't see out of it. He's just an idiot, and I would gladly punch him in the face repeatedly.
Yeah. All right then. So I think we're gonna go with basic Alex.
It's basically got a Holocaust denier on Alex Jones.
Alex failing to smash a device clearly on camera and then stating that he's just destroyed it.
Clearly he hadn't.
Mr. Manley. Mr. fucking Butch Alex
Mr.
Jones.
The gorilla.
He looked at a hammer and described it as a 4. 4LB.
4LB. And that's what I describe it.
That's their unit measurement over there. We do stones, they do pounds. How does he not know LB is pounds?
He described it as libs.
That's what I mean. How does he, who lives in America, not know that a hammer might have its weight written on it? 4 lbs. If you saw that.
I go, oh, look at that, it's £4. But no, not Alex. Hey, look at that. I've got a 4-lib hammer.
He reads books, don't you know?
He does.
He's always telling us how educated he is. Every week, how much more educated he is than your average person. How much smarter he is. How much history he pays attention to.
Yeah,
but he doesn't fucking know the unit of measurement.
He doesn't know that LBS is pounds.
It's 4 lbs.
But I can't vote for Dave.
Alex, come on, just by default, he's good. Because the other two were mental. They were just hateful people this week. There wasn't any conspiracy in it. They were just, the one guy was basically saying a woman can't have, if a woman has children and a career, she's a hateful, selfish bitch, and her husband is a beta male. And then the second one said that the Holocaust didn't happen.
Remember Jessie Lee Peterson? She's had 9 children. The 10th has a health condition, and he's packed in work for a bit to look after the baby, and he's criticising that.
Male. That's what he said.
That makes him a beta male. No, he's got 9 children, mate. For a start, I doubt you have.
So he is talking the most shit this week.
He's
but
talking the most shit.
We can't give him the victory.
No, I
we don't want to endorse him because he's a cunt. So we'll give it to Alex, just out of the fact
Alex wins then.
He failed.
Alex, let's face it, though, we can justify it because Alex is the most crazy this week because he's repeatedly missing with a hammer, a 4 libs hammer, while you know claiming that he's destroying it. So, yeah, you can see on the camera you're not even hitting it, mate. Every single stroke of that hammer, I thought, oh, I missed that.
Ah, fuck him. There you go then. Alex has got it.
Yeah.
Right, let's do it.
Right, thank you very much for listening. I'm Bim Ben, and I'm going to say, don't drink the Flavour Aid and don't join a cult.
I'm Big Gaz. I will say, please subscribe to Sewage Pipe Gaming, Free Biff Tannen, and thank you for listening.
I've been Mike. Thanks for listening. Peace out. May the force be with you.